238.
Martin, thank you very much as well to you. And if you want to keep listening to Martin's commentary, it is on the BBC Sport website and the BBC Sport app. Elsewhere, in terms of local fixtures across the weekend, Newcastle Falcons running out of opportunities to win a Premiership match this season, guaranteed to finish bottom. But boy, would they get a psychological boost from a win. They welcome Sale to Kingston Park tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff, live commentary with Dean Gray on the BBC Sport website and app. The top two played each other in the Premiership last night, and Saracens won 15 points to 12 away at Bath. They'd been 12-0 up at half-time, then Bath dragged them back into it, but they found a way to win. So Saracens remain top of the table. In basketball, it was the first leg of the BBL Championship playoff quarter-final last night for Newcastle Eagles, and a very important and very impressive win, 97-78 away at Caledonia Gladiators. Jordan Johnson with 31 of those points. It means they have a 19-point lead to take into the second leg at the arena next Friday night. In the WBBL Championship tonight, Newcastle Eagles take on the Manchester Giants. And in the first of the WBBL games today, it is Durham Palatinate, who are in action. They are taking on Auckland Wolves. They tipped off at 1 o'clock. And it is the Wolves who are leading by 62 points to 54 with about just under 7 minutes remaining in that one. They had a huge first quarter lead, then Durham won the second and third quarters to bring it back a little bit tighter, but the Wolves 5 points clear with 7 minutes to go in that one. It's the final round of regular season fixtures in the WBBL, and yeah, like I say, Newcastle Eagles at home to Manchester Giants tonight. In darts, Chris Dobey back in action this weekend in the European Tour at the Austrian Open in Graz. He beat Graham Hall by 6 legs to 2 last night, faces the world number 1 Johnny Clayton in the last 32 at 9 o'clock tonight. There's also just finished the 12:30 games in League One have just finished as well. Derby are promoted. They are back in the Championship. They beat Carlisle by 3 goals to 2, but also finishing in League One and in the League One playoff positions. Bolton, because we knew that would happen if they didn't overhaul Derby. Bolton finished 3rd, Peterborough finished 4th, Barnsley finished 5th, and Oxford United have deposed Lincoln City on the final day of the season. Lincoln had to lose and Oxford win for that to happen. That is what occurred today. So Oxford steal the final playoff place in League One. And in the Premier League, it finished West Ham United 2, Liverpool 2, not particularly what Newcastle United wanted. Right, let's do our split then. Newcastle United at home to Sheffield United in the Premier League. If you want to listen to the build-up and full commentary of that one, Matthew Racebeck and John Anderson are on our FM frequencies this afternoon. But if it's Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett's coverage of Watford against Sunderland that you want, you need to be listening on DAB Digital Radio and on Freeview Channel 719. The time has now eventually come to take your pick.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
When do you or someone in your life demand a standing ovation for something that probably doesn't deserve it? Jeff in Burnopfield, what's yours?
Getting the duvet cover on the bed without getting lost inside it. It's hard, but when you do it and you don't swear, I think someone needs to clap.
Amanda in Sunderland, it's your hubby who demands a standing ovation, yeah?
He cooks not even once a month, and when he does, there's a grand announcement, and after it, he's exhausted. He needs a standing ovation, he needs a mention in the Michelin Guide, and an op-ed in the Daily Mail.
Matt Bailey at breakfast. Back Monday morning
from 6.
Hi, Cabby, good to see you.
Newcastle.
Great show with Barnes and Davey. You're welcome, Kevin. I enjoyed that. That was really good. That was really good, wasn't it?
The sound of Sunderland. Here
Spot
he
on.
comes, Stewart at the north end. Roll! Save, but he's going to put it in. Yeah! Ross Stewart puts in the rebound. Still going Ahmad onto his left foot. He's trying to tee this up. Oh man, what a beautiful finish. Goal goes to the right. It's put in by Roberts.
Afternoon, Colin. You okay, mate? How you doing?
Kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle. Well, it'd be nice to get a few goals like that this afternoon here at Vicarage Road. 2 changes for Sunderland. Hume and now Shinky for Pembele and Dak. Dak is here, but he's not on the bench this afternoon for this game. Watford make 3 changes. Daniel Backman in goal. I think he's a back 3, but there's a couple of curiosities in the 11 for Watford. I'll chat with Benno about those shortly. Back 3, we think Wesley Hoot, Ryan Porteous and Matty Pollock comes in, the former Middlesbrough centre-back, the son of Jamie Pollock, who once played for Borough. Across the middle, Ken Sema comes in, Ishmael Kone, Ido Kayembe, and Jack Greaves, who's actually a 19-year-old forward, so that's where my query comes in.
Yeah,
as to
Derby
whether
are
he'll play left wing back, because the front
they're
three
champions,
remains the
aren't they?
same in the team that drew 0-0
Oh, the promoted,
with
should I
Hull
say?
here last week. Bakun Bayo, Yasser Espria and Emmanuel Dennis, who's on loan from Nottingham Forest. I'll chat with Benno in just a moment. We're going to chat with Rob Mason shortly. We've got a lot to rattle through before 3 o'clock. We're here from Grace McCatty, who announced her retirement last week from Sunderland Women. We're here from Trey Hume and Jack Clark, the young player and player of the year for Sunderland. Michael Dodds and Mel Ray. First, though, on a quick chat with Rob Mason, Sunderland club historian, who's in sunny southwest Scotland this afternoon. We've not seen much sun here today, but the rain has held off. Rob, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We've got all the sun up here, Nick. It's absolutely glorious. I'm pleased to tell you. On the other hand, I'm not outside. I'm following the match, so it might as well be raining.
Cheers for the subscriber. Got a subscriber already. Thank
Rob,
you very much.
There's only one place to start this afternoon, and I know you've spoken a lot about it this week, but
prediction.
in some sense, it's looking forward now to next weekend. Charlie Hurley is what I am referring to.
It's got a draw all over it, hasn't it?
Pouring of sentiment towards Charlie over the last couple of days. The club is trying to organise a tribute for him against Sheffield Wednesday next weekend. Remember, it's a
I don't know. I'm going to
12:30
go for
kickoff.
a 1-1 or a
They want to make
0-0
it
today.
spectacular. They want it to make it. They want to make it memorable, and that is absolutely fitting for a player who is the first name on many Sunderland fans' lips when it comes to great players of the past.
Absolutely, Nick. Obviously, my condolences to.
So, Win says
family,
67% so far.
If the first game after Charlie passed away couldn't be at Sunderland, it seems appropriate it's Watford, because it's just down the road from where Charlie's lived for many years. It's the nearest ground to his home of many years in Hertfordshire. So, you know, Charlie, I'm sure Charlie will be with us in a sense this afternoon. And
you're going to go for 2-0 Watford?
In a sense forever, because players of his
It'll be a difficult game, of course it will.
Will never be.
Of course, there'll be a lot of
yeah, you know,
on the players' minds. They'll be wondering if they're actually going to be here next season or not.
Before it was announced, there was a period between Charlie passing and the public announcement, because, you know, the family wanted, quite rightly, a little spell of privacy there. So I knew that come the morning that the Charlie's death was announced, I knew that my phone would be red hot all day with people getting in touch with me and emailing me and so on. But I did underestimate how much it would be, because I was inundated with people, just really, you know, friends and supporters wanting to express their own personal memories of Charlie, because Charlie did touch so many lives, and for lots and lots of supporters, if they ever once came across Charlie Hurley to say hello to or get an autograph or a photograph, it was a real highlight of their lives for them, and rightly so, because, you know, Charlie, as everybody knows, was the player of the century in the club's centenary year of 1979, and you don't get such an accolade.
You go for a draw for you, Colin. Mike Cassop, good day, Covey from Melbourne, Australia. You all right? Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing?
Charlie has that unique,
are you well?
That unique status amongst the fans.
It's been a busy day today. We've
such a popular player.
got rid of the old sofa. We're getting the new sofa coming on Tuesday, and we've been taking the carpet up.
Equally fabulous off the pitch.
So no rest for the wicked.
A really lovely, genuine man.
But it's a job done. It is a job done, and it's going to look good when it's all finished.
Charlie absolutely loved the supporters, every last little bit, as much as they loved him.
I'm told, and I'm sure it will happen, the Sunderland fans that are here this afternoon will be singing
Sheffield United.
I think no doubt whatsoever, and you know, it's no.
Well, it certainly looks like Liverpool's title challenge is over after their 2-2 draw against West Ham. And good afternoon, Albert Dining, mate. Welcome, mate. Welcome. How are you doing?
But he was also the kind of person that always filled the room. Whenever
Because they defeated my second team, Carlisle, 2-0 today. Carlisle's had a treacherous season, like a really bad season this season.
People knew they were in the presence of greatness.
If anybody wants to see the team news, it's pinned at the top, so if you want to see it. On the subs, we've got Nathan Bishop, Pembele, Corey Evans, Lewis Himir, Patrick Roberts, Romain Mundell, Abdullah Barr, Leo Helgi, and Tommy Watson. I would say get the young ones a good run out today, like, to be honest with you.
Following the game against Sheffield Wednesday, Father Mark will be there, and a bugler, I understand. So watch out on social media for updates on that. Rob, one last thing to throw at you before we leave you, because I've got so much to pack in. I've just seen Chris Rigg has become I think the 5th youngest player of 16 or under to play 20 games in the Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris is just setting records all the time. I mean, obviously he became Sunderland's record goal scorer earlier in the season. Youngest record goal scorer earlier in the season.
Got 25 in the channel watching already.
In the Carabao Cup, which
Fantastic.
he did earlier this season. Having become the youngest goal scorer in a cup tie against Crewe, he then became the youngest league goal scorer in a game against Southampton. These will not be the only records Chris Rigg sets in his life. There's every chance that, you know, in years to come he'll be setting other records rather than the youngest to do this or the youngest to do that, because he's a special talent. And also, in mentioning Chris Rigg, I'm personally delighted to see Tommy Watson on the bench. I really rate Tommy Watson. He shares his name, Tom Watson, with the greatest manager in the history of North East football, Tom Watson, who managed Sunderland in the 1890s, a team of all the talent. But Tommy Watson's got plenty of talent himself. He's a dead ringer for Jack Clark. I'm not saying he's as good as Jack Clark yet. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. He's only just turned 18 this month, and he's only had 2 or 3 minutes first-team experience, which was late last season as a sub late on in the home game with Huddersfield. But he's been excelling when he's been fit this season at under-18 level and under-21 level, and I'd be very keen to see him get a chance today and a chance next week, because I would like to think he can have the sort of impact next season that Chris Rigg has had this.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, indeed. Rob Mason, Sunderland Club historian. Thanks, Rob. Chat to Rob next weekend at home to Sheffield Wednesday. We build up from 11:30 ahead of that 12:30 kickoff here on BBC Radio Newcastle. 2 changes: Hume and Al-Shish in for Pembele and Dak this afternoon. We're going to hear from Trey Hume and Jack Clark very shortly. Firstly, though, I want you to hear from Grace McCarthy, who's announced her retirement from playing for Sunderland women. 1 more game to go against Crystal Palace tomorrow. We'll hear from Mel Ray before kick-off. But I caught up with Grace following that disappointing 1-0 defeat to Charlton Athletic last Sunday. Grace, this isn't the way you wanted it to end, and it's disappointing. And it'll probably sound slightly church to say it's been a fantastic season. So what you've achieved,
Billy JW, welcome. Hello, Cabby.
To lose like
I like the team today.
Is
yeah, it's not bad. Keith Curl was a good Carlisle manager, Cabby. He was. Alan Ray, hello, mate. How are you? How are you? Hope you're having a good day today. I'm not too bad. Been busy. Our very important member, Ken Walton. Good afternoon. Back in Cabby. Hope you're well, Ken. Hope you're having a good weekend so far.
I think it's fair to say that they were probably the better team, and when you look at it in that light, you've tried all you could, but in the end, that's the way football sometimes works.
Yeah, I just said football is a game of small margins, and today it was literally small margins. At some points, it could have gone either way, and I think I touched on what you said before. I think whilst it's hugely disappointing,
Stephen Clark, hello.
For a while,
has anyone seen Kevin Phillips?
Look where we are compared to this time
he's left Hartlepool. I wonder if he's in the run for Sunderland job.
Yeah, this year would have been great, but it's not quite our year. So let's use this as momentum.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite up to standards yet for the Sunderland job. But seeing that, the amount of crap that we have had.
One last hurrah at Crystal Palace. I suppose from your point of view, you're going to go and you're going to play at a Premier League football ground. Yeah. It's a nice way perhaps to finish.
Yeah, I think I'd love to go into next week and it would have been the title decider, and I think maybe not mathematically, but if I'm correct, I think Palace have probably won it based on, I don't know. It's hard to know, so I know if they are, they'll be celebrating today, and I think they're going to want to go out on a high because for them, they're trying to get promotion. So I think for us, just going out and enjoying it and going, look, park today's result, it's happened, but let's actually finish on a high, so we can remember the season because of where we came second, third, wherever it might be. Let's finish it because we played some great football. We've got a completely new fan base that's followed us, and let's use those as kind of moments to take into next year.
And how hard was your decision to make
Yeah, I think the decision, I played football for 30 years, and for something that's been ingrained in me for so long to actually go, do you know what, now is the time, wasn't easy.
Just going to turn the audio down there because there's music in the background. YouTube will pick it up. It's quite loud as well. I think it's the Who that's playing in the background. And I mean, I won't get into serious trouble with it. It's just the fact, like, I've got to edit it out, the music. So it's an absolute bit of a nuisance, to be quite honest with you. Silly, really, because I've got no intentions of making any music at all from it. Yeah, so that's the Division 1 football programme all done and dusted. We are starting the wind down out into the football season, but it's going to be a short season, isn't it? Because it's the Euros. Is it going to be a good Euros for England? Or Scotland, if any Scotland fans? Thanks, Kevin. You're welcome, mate. I really enjoy doing this, to be honest with you, pal. It's great. So Sunderland would be neck and neck on points if Watford were to win today, but John says Sunderland would do it for Charlie Hurley and the away fans. Wish the Stadium of Light was so focal. Yeah. It's going to be a really big game. Sheffield Wednesday, the next match, isn't it? Last game of the season.
Palace, good luck to her. We'll hear from Mel Ray shortly as well. Benno's alongside of me here. The Watford team shows 3 changes. It looks to me like it's still a back 3, but Jack Greaves is what's thrown me, the 19-year-old forward. I don't know whether they might go 4 at the back with Samer as right back, Pollock at left back, and push Jack Reeves up front. I think we're going to have to wait until kick-off.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait till the kick-off, because it's said, and see where he actually fits in. But as it's just mentioned there, they can play with a 3 or they can play with a 4.
Interesting lineup. Sunderland, Chris Rigg. I mentioned Chris, 5th player under 16 to play 20 matches in the Championship. He's an esteemed company, Jude Bellingham, Ryan Sessegnon,
John Elton there,
and strangely enough, Connor Wickham. 3 of the 5. But anyway, it's a major achievement for a 16-year-old. Now, 2 players who've won accolades, and there will be presentations as we build up to 3 o'clock here at Watford to the Watford players for Player of the Season and outstanding goal, etc. But this week, the Sunderland Supporters Association, the Branch Liaison Council, the fans had their vote for the Sunderland Young Player of the Season and Player of the Season, and I spoke to both of them. Well, here at the end of season Player of the Year awards, and the 2 winners of the men's award, the Young Player of the Year, Trey Hume, and the Player of the Year, Jack Clark. Trey, firstly, for you, as I've just said to you on the stage, what a year you've had. The number of games that you've played, you've broken into the Northern Ireland squad. I mean, it's been a fantastic season.
Yeah, you know, I've really enjoyed my football this season. You know, I've played a lot of games, as you said, and you know, it's been tough in the legs, really, because you know, a lot of lads get a break whenever the international games come around, but I have an or 2 games to play, basically, so I'm still going, so it has been tough, but you know, I've loved my football this season, and you know, it's been really enjoyable.
Well, we know how rigorous the Championship is, but you've thrown yourself into it with aplomb. I mean, you don't seem to be shy of any challenge, of anything that's levelled at you.
No, it's just the way I've grown up, really. You know, I don't think that's going to change. That's the way I like to play football. You know, I like to work hard and get stuck in. You know, I don't think that'll ever change. So, yeah.
Has it ever been said to you by fans here that the sort of player they love is players like you, Kevin Ball in the past, players that don't leave anything on the pitch, they just throw their everything into the game?
Yeah, I get told a lot that from fans that they like my tackles, and you know, they like me getting stuck in, so you know, sometimes you don't want to do that because, you know, you want to keep it nice and simple, and hopefully the game can be easier and you can win games like that. But, you know, if the game calls for that, really, you know, I'm not shy enough to do it. I'll get stuck in if I need to.
And you've avoided injury as well, which seems a miracle actually in the circumstances.
Yeah, you know, you just need to look after your recovery, really, whenever after games, especially with the amount of games I've played. You know, I've had to look after myself off the pitch, so, you know, it's just being professional, really, and taking care of yourself.
Well done, brilliant. Thank you. And Jack, for you to win the Player of the Year, I think it might be said it probably hasn't come as a surprise, because I think everybody you speak to, when you suggest who do you think will be Player of the Year, has said your name.
Look, that's like I said on the stage, I think it's due to, for me, individual awards are due to how, like, it's more of a reflection on the team, to be honest, rather than just.
Couldn't believe how knowledgeable Barnsley is in SFC.
I'm playing with week in, week out. Can't give me the ball in the right areas, and I'm not the one who can
great guy,
steal all the glory at the end, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? So obviously it's nice to be recognised, and I'm very happy to win the award, but I've got to give a lot to them because they've obviously given a lot to me during the season.
A lot's been said about the team spirit and the players here and being happy at the club. Patrick Roberts has said that how he feels now he's found somewhere that it feels to him like home. I mean, do you feel that as well? You've come back up north, you're from Yorkshire, and I mean, I wonder how much that's been a part as well.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. Obviously, me and Pat came through the door at a very similar stage in the League One season, and we've shared this journey together, and I'd like to think I've grown a lot during my time here, and it's due to the fans, due to the club, and due to the players I had around me. You know, we've had a really good group, and I've had a really good people to learn off for the last couple of years. So that's credit to the club. And like you said, it could be the fact that I'm at home, or just obviously I'm playing football. Do you know what I mean? Whenever you're playing, you obviously feel better, and you only really play your best stuff, I think, as a player when you sort of get a run in somewhere and you're happy playing, and I've been happy ever since I walked through the door.
And you've largely avoided injury as well, which for a player in your position and the way that you're targeted sometimes is probably a miracle as well.
Yeah, up until this season, to be honest, which was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. We didn't expect it at the start.
Yeah, proper genuine guy.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people.
I like to think I can
much on the high horses
carry on, and I like to if I've got the opportunity to play football, I'm never going to shy away from playing.
You know, it's really good.
Kicks and bruises, knocks, and stuff
sure
like
Nick
that.
Barnes started off
paid to play football, so I'm going to play football for as long as I can. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the injury was an unfortunate one, and I was good, to be honest, at the time of the season, and obviously where we were at when there was still a bit of promise left in the season. I just wanted to be playing a part in that, and obviously came back into the team.
Very welcome,
was left in a much different predicament, which is just how the season's panned out in the end. But yeah, it was disappointing. But at the same time, I can't be too disappointing.
Through the close season, loads of goal clips,
some
funny clips,
and
things like that.
And finally, I mean, you've got 15 goals.
The channel did
through
the
close season. Games of the season. Any
and
sort
I'm sure
of target?
There's going to be plenty of games as well.
Not particularly. Like at the start of the season, I never set myself a target to score 10 or 15 or whatever. I just wanted to keep improving, and I felt like I have improved this season. My performances have improved, but I never set myself any sort of goals, because sometimes they become unreachable, and then you get blindsided by whether you've done well, whether you've done enough, and stuff like that. So I'm happy with how I've done. Obviously, I'd have
if anybody looking at the channel now,
contribute in them games and thumbs up. Maybe score a few more goals here and there. There's still a lot of chances that I missed, and games that we just slip through our fingers and stuff like that. You know, so hopefully next year we can kick on again and just keep improving.
Total Sport North East. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Jack Clark, Trey Hume. Jack Clark speaking very well there. The Player of the Year awards on Tuesday. The club awards are next Thursday night, of course, as well. Got to say hello this afternoon to Philip Scott in Sunderland. Always positive. Looking forward to a lot of goals this afternoon and a couple of positive results. Afternoon, Philip. We're going to hear from Mike Dodds soon. We're going to hear from Mel Ray next. But I thought there, Benno, Jack Clark did actually speak very well.
He did indeed, and you know, he's had a tremendous season, you know, and you know, again, we'd love to say that he'll be here next season, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know, I think he's got his confidence back as well. And you know, we talk about the likes of Patrick Roberts. You know, sometimes they find a place, they find a home where they feel comfortable, they feel loved. And you've got to say that you know, Jack Clark on his day does cause problems at this level.
Sun just burst through here this afternoon at Vicarage Road. It's strange, every time we come to Vicarage Road, the sun seems to shine. One of those quirks.
Yeah,
possibly
I'm glad
because
do,
we
Kevin.
tend
It's
to
a
play
bit of
them at the
banter,
end of the
isn't it?
season.
Just keeps
the
things
rule.
going.
But
I enjoy doing
nice,
it. Hello,
it's a
Paul.
nice ground, and it's a nice club,
and
lovely
Julian
club.
Gonzalez, hello,
and it's,
welcome. How
you
you
know,
doing?
family-run club.
People
like,
are starting
you know,
to
you
come
look
in
at
now,
the
now
supporters
53
around,
watching.
and yeah, you know what their aim is. They're trying to get back into the Premier League. They've lost away a little bit, and you've seen, shall we say, the changeover of managers every 6 months to change the manager here. So it'll be interesting to see how long Cleverly lasts.
Well, it's very interesting reading Scott Duxbury, who's the chief executive, his programme notes today. Because you remember last season when we were here at the beginning of the season, Rob Edwards had just been appointed, and
Malcolm down south, hello mate, how
you
doing? All right, Cabby,
we'll
your
stick
channel's
with you
doing well,
forever
mate.
through
Slowly
thick
but
and thin.
surely, loving
And
your
he was
choice
gone
of
within
shirt.
12. In fact, he went after the Sunderland
I think
game.
Gabby Dean you are.
Scott Duxbury starts
yeah,
the
it's a slow
sentence in the
progress
same
for the
light and
channel,
goes,
mate.
oh,
Just got to
hang
be
on a moment, let's leave that one there.
Kind to
I think he's very aware
of
the
everybody if you can.
sequence that has preceded Tom Cleverly. It's out of his hands, it's the owners.
But yeah,
they make the decisions.
Yeah, they do make the decisions.
Eric
and
Gates, Gabby
you've
Dean,
got to say that
destroyed
it's been
Newcastle at St James
it's not
Park,
been a successful season for them, because overall they've got to look at the financial side of it, and I would imagine there's going to be cuts again.
I was the second leg. I was
I've also got to say hello to Nicola Rhaegar this afternoon as well. Karen's got a bit not, but I haven't mentioned her. So there you go, Karen.
The commentator called Charles Harrison.
From Benno and I to
and I think
Nicola,
Charles Harrison was a Newcastle fan because he didn't sound pleased.
I promise we're going to hear from Mike Dodds before kick-off. We're also going to hear from
because I heard him, I can still remember it now in my head. It was like
Mel Ray
to Eric Gates, and then Eric Gates has scored and put Sunderland ahead, and Sunderland won the up, and it was that torn. And then for the second goal, it was Eric Gates. Eric Gates returned ball to Gabby Dean, and Gabby Dean scores, and Sunderland is surely on the way to Wembley.
Who picks you up? Who?
His lack of excitement
on a level footing.
Announcing when Sunderland scored to me said it like he was a proper Newcastle fan. He just didn't sound pleased when Sunderland scored at all.
You know, we've analysed the game and reflected, and you know we're in a
yeah, we'll try and enjoy the game, mate.
We want to put things right on Sunday, so that you know that's our motivation and determination this week. And
you too, if you can.
Have watched the game back, and we've had some reflections, and you know there was disappointment. Unfortunately, you can't replicate them high pressured moments. You know, as it was a really important game, and there was huge pressure on it, and there was a lot of people watching the players perform, and ultimately we couldn't get it over the line, and that'll put the players in good stead going forward, and you know we're determined to get a positive result on Sunday to end the season on a high.
I mean, it's undoubtedly, you know, a big blow, and it must be difficult to lift yourselves for one more game, but the fact that you have got one more game and you can maybe get it out of your system, if you like, is perhaps no bad thing.
Yeah, I think, well, we've never been beat twice in a row this season, so we can take some hope from that, but there's still a lot to play for. We want to finish second, you know, and we know that's not fully in our hands, but we have to get 3 points on Sunday to make that happen. Claudia can still win the Golden Glove, so you know the squad's determined to try and keep a clean sheet so she can get a personal accolade, which would be brilliant for her. We know there's a lot of fans travelling to the game on a supporters bus. You know, there's people paying good money to come and watch us, so you know we will be at our best to try and get 3 points.
And I know it's been said to you a number of times this week, and it's probably, you know, it will hit you in a week or two after the end of the season, but what you have achieved on the budgets that you've got here and where you were at the end of last season, it's been a remarkable season.
Yeah, it has, and you know, I think I said it, I might have said it earlier on in the week, that I think once the Palace game's been played and you know we sit down and have some true reflections, you know, I will be immensely proud of
Kevin MX, welcome all the way from Perth, mate. How's the weather where you are? All right.
The staff as well. There's a lot of hard work goes behind the scenes, and it's been a huge team effort.
The sprinklers are out on Vicarage Road, watering the pitch. It looks a good pitch actually at Watford.
A marvellous platform to build on, and hopefully we can go.
I understand we have to be politically correct.
And talking about that platform, obviously there will be players who leave.
In what way, Paul?
McCarthy's
welcome anyway.
Retiring,
welcome.
So there will be some change. But how do you envisage the summer panning out now and the plans for next season?
I think the team has to evolve. You know, there's always going to be a little bit of movement. Hopefully it won't be as busy as last summer. I would like a holiday this summer. But yeah, we'll look to add.
Or Dubai, I bet you the weather's nice there. Have they sorted themselves out from the storms they had?
For places.
Be right back,
like
toilet.
There might be some players who want to go out on elsewhere, and that's football. That's, you know, it's a business at the end of the day, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the summer, but hopefully we can get things done nice and early.
And is there anything in particular when you look back at this season that has surprised you, or you've learned, or you've taken and thought, actually, you know, I've come out of this season, there's one very important lesson learned from the year?
That'll probably happen next week when I have them big reflections. I think being really clear with kind of a vision and a purpose, and, you know, almost a philosophy, and in getting the players buying into that really early helped. Bringing really good people together and having that togetherness and having each other's back all year helped get through some tough moments. So that, you know, the team spirit and, you know, the friendships that they've formed has put them in good stead to have a brilliant season.
Probably not the time to say yes or no, but have you enjoyed it?
I have. I've enjoyed being in a, you know, I think we've been up there. I've not looked at the data, but I think we've been up there majority of the season, and you know, like you say, it was a massive transformation from being at the bottom pretty much all last season. But, you know, turning the team into a hybrid team was massive. Being able to offer full-time contracts, I think everyone's seen what a difference it makes, and being able to recruit further afield from the northeast was huge. So yeah, it's been an exciting season. I've really enjoyed it, and let's hope we can finish on a high.
And good luck to Mel Ray and Sunderland women tomorrow at Crystal Palace. The match is at Sellers Park, so fingers crossed. Emily Scarr won the Supporters Women's Player of the Year. Mary McAteer was the Young Women's Player of the Season, and congratulations to the unsung hero, Nicola from the ticket office.
20 quid on
Nicola
Sunderland
Adventure. She's
to win.
the association's unsung hero, so congratulations.
Well, go for
to
it, Thomas,
Nicola
lad.
as
Good
well.
luck.
The club here, Watford, have just paid a nice tribute to Charlie Hurley on the boards on the screens.
You know, that massively
here,
depends,
which is
doesn't it?
great, and we can now hear from the Sunderland interim
That just
head coach,
massively
Mike
depends
Dodds.
on what the
Mike,
orders
firstly,
are
I mean,
do,
the news today.
Derek, hello mate, how are
Charlie
you
Hurley
doing?
died.
I've been
I don't
busy,
think
just watched your
anybody
show
can
with Nick Barnes. I
not
loved his honest
know of
opinions
Charlie Hurley,
on
the
what's wrong at the
significance
top
he had
level of
to
the
the
season. It was
football
great
club.
show. Yeah, it was brilliant,
I
Derek.
think from my perspective, I don't think there's
It
any
was really,
words
really
I can
good, mate.
find to explain how important he was to this football club, and not just this football club, obviously the football world. And you just look at the kind of general outpour on social media for him, I think just kind of speaks volumes.
You'd have to come in on one of the chats, man. I'm going to be doing a show every Monday.
The staff downstairs, it's just obviously sending our thoughts out to the family.
You're welcome to join us.
Friends at this point. He's
Anybody's welcome to join us on a Monday when I do my
huge
shows.
legend at this football club. I've obviously been here a short period of time, and he was obviously one of the first names that were kind of not presented to me, but he was one of the first kind of when I went on the stadium tour, was one of the first players that was explained to me in terms of his importance to the football club. Over 400 league games, player of the century, I think, voted for from the fans. So yeah, as I said, there's no real words from my perspective that can kind of justify just how important he was to the football club. But I think the kind of general outpour speaks volumes for how well regarded he is, not just in Sunderland and North.
Is the FA Cup better with a lid on or off?
Wider football community.
Thank you. And
needs a bit of a polish.
From your perspective now, going back to last
clean.
weekend and
to give it a bit of a
Millwall
spruce
game, what's been the analysis and the sort of pulling that one apart? Because it clearly wasn't a great game, and you yourself said afterwards, used the word boring.
Yeah, and that's what the analysis, when I sat down with the lads, that was the very first thing I said to them. I said I was bored watching you play, which hasn't been labelled at the group for a long time, I wouldn't have thought. We spoke, I think my frustration after the game, we spoke around what Millwall were all about, and I felt we gave them far too many opportunities to be Millwall. So that was my biggest frustration, my biggest kind of points that I took from the game. They've picked up some really positive results against teams above them, playing the way that they play, and they did the exact same thing to us that they did to some of the other clubs. And as I said, that was my kind of anger and frustration, because we spoke about that all week in terms of just not letting them.
Good afternoon, Diz. How are you doing? You all right?
Survive on counter attacks and set pieces, and we knew they would wait for that one opportunity. which they had done in previous games. And that's exactly what they did. You know, they kind of painted their own picture, and we allowed them to do that. So that was a real frustration from my perspective, because we'd spoke about that all week. So, yeah, we've debriefed it, we've spoke about it, we've had some honest conversations.
Just trying to set
something
business-wise sick of these.
Is there an element
I can
of
imagine
it being a young
Kevin,
team?
Will you still be doing? Kevin still doing the Monday show when season ends?
You
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be doing a show every Monday. There's always something happening with the club.
Take risks and
like I say, you're welcome to join us on the lives if you wanted to. Or
you know, you're
just
looking
happy.
at taking a forward pass.
But I'm going to be doing a new feature as well. New feature as well, where I'll be giving a telephone number out, a mobile number.
You could look at someone like Chris
Rigg
in the game.
You could phone in on the show.
Hasn't got that sort of fear
have a bit crack on with us.
And he was one of the brightest sparks in terms of wanting to take players on and be a bit braver, if you like, on the ball.
Yeah, I don't think it's an age thing. It's a mentality thing, because you can be a 30-plus-year-old and still have that kind of psychological block when you need a player to take a risk and you need a player to pass forward quicker or risk or turn the ball over. That's regardless of age. And so Chris is a really, really good example in terms of his mentality. So it's more of a mentality thing for me. So I think that was one of the things we spoke around, as being a little bit more, taking more risks in possession, and knowing the way we set up, that even if I think we spoke so much around their threat on transition that it almost became a negative for us in the game, because we were so risk averse in terms of making that one pass that maybe they thought, oh, this could get cut out, and that's what they kind of survive on. But that being said, that's just being a good player, and I think the best players at the highest level make the right decisions 9 times out of 10, and that's what this group have to realise, and that's a part of my responsibility, is to continue to coach them and continue to work with them, because if they don't come over that hill or that hurdle, they won't get to where they want to get to, and ultimately they won't get us to where we want to get to. So look, it was hugely frustration, but I always go back to me and my seat. I've got to keep coaching them, I've got to keep working with them. You know, they are nowhere near the finished article, individually or collectively, and there's still obviously clearly, you know, based on the period that I've taken the team, there's still clearly a lot of work to be done to get to where we want to be.
Fantastic 93 watching. So click the thumbs up, guys.
And Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle. Or if you're listening, just give us a subscribe.
And the players run out here to the Z-Cars team.
Thank you very much.
Z-Cars used to run out to at Roker Park.
Join the queue to phone up now.
Way to our right, on the right-hand side of the goal to our right. The rest of the stadium, black and yellow all over, pretty much. The two teams stripping off their tracksuit tops. Sunderland will be in their red and white stripes, black shorts and red socks, waiting to paint pictures on the radio.
Indeed.
Of course, it looks like Sunderland have sold out their away end.
You know, about the
allocation looks packed.
You know, you look where we are in the division. They've got nothing to play for, basically, but still a sellout. You know, it just typifies what Sunderland supporters are all about.
Yeah, they've travelled down yesterday, this morning on the train, and coaches. I could hear them as we parked up just a stone's throw from the stadium. You could hear them singing in the town centre, actually, as we walked to the ground at lunchtime today. Sunderland then, Patterson in goal, Hume, O'Neill, Ballard and Elise, Styles, Ekwa, Rigg, Aushish, Clark and Job. And Watford, well, looking at the way they are setting up, it looks as though Seamer is going to play at left.
Trying to mute the audio for a second while they play the music for the teams coming out. Good old Elton John blasting out round the stadium. While you're in the world. Good tune. If you put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. As we
the ball just pushed back by
I'll mute myself.
Yes, Espria, the Colombian international, and then getting forward is Porteous with Greaves on the right, slips it inside to Dennis, push back to Hoot, the Dutch centre half, the Dutch international, and out wide to Ken Seamer, who is a Swedish international, and Eventually forwards again to Asprilla, looking for a gap, trying to get Dennis through or Bayo, but Sunderland, Styles manages to get the ball away. Elise is just behind him, and up to the halfway line, where it's chested down by Porteous into the path in the middle of Ido Kayembe, a Congo international. The Watford team brimming still with internationals as a consequence of their spell a couple of seasons ago now in the Premier League. And again, the ball swung down the left wing by Hoot, now down the left of the Sunderland penalty area. Seymour's cross is knocked out by Eckler, straight to Dennis, but the flag or the whistle's blown for a foul. It's a free kick to Sunderland.
Yeah, foul on Styles, is it? Yeah, excellent defending.
But you were saying just before kick-off, we'll have to be careful. Set pieces could be a real
set pieces, they'll be a threat. And they've got a bit of pace in the team as well, Nick. You know, you got some of these players who are Premier League players.
Tom Cleverley appointed in the week, but he's been in charge of 7 matches. He won the first. That was a 1-0 win at Birmingham.
It's interesting to see what they've done here. They've pressed right high up, haven't they? Look.
Yeah, right up into the penalty area. And Vakoum Bayo tried to prevent the ball being played out by Sunderland. It's gone out for a throw to Watford on the far side.
So straight away, Nick, you can see that they're not going to let you play out. We've got to find another way. You know, it might have to go long.
Looks like they're going to try and keep Sunderland pressed back in their own half at the moment. Here in the middle, Kayembe again, back to Hoot, who plays it, looking for Seymour down the right, the Sunderland right. It's gone out for a Sunderland throw. Of the last 6 games, 5 of them have ended in draws for Watford. 2-2, 2-2, 0-0, 0-0, a 3-2 defeat at Southampton, and 0-0 last week here against Hull.
See how they're pressed right in. But again, if we can get a foot on the ball, then Clark's your outlet.
Pollock heads the ball away, drops out for a throw to Sunderland again on the right. Clark is in a lot of space on the left at the moment. He's on the halfway line, just looking for that out ball. O'Nien will take the throw on the far side, down the line, hooked away by Hoot, almost on the touchline. Oh, and nodded back by Ballard, whipping through the middle was Asprilla, but ball safely back to Anthony Patterson, who's in light blue in front of the Sunderland fans. Away to our right this afternoon as we look down from the Elton John stand, the Graham Taylor stand on the far side. The ball headed away by Wesley Hoot. That's knocked forwards by Rigg. Sheesh picks it up. Clark wide on the left-hand side here, near the corner of the penalty area on the left. He's trying to drift in on his right. Goes through. Tried to get it on his left and just lost his balance. And it's played out by Greaves.
And that's what we just mentioned, Nick. Clark is your outlet.
Newcastle United 0, Sheffield United 1 in the early stages of the game at St James's Park. Elise inside to Styles, who felt he was fouled. No foul given by referee Oliver Langford this afternoon, as the ball breaks for Asprilla through the middle. It comes a little bit awkwardly up off the heel of Dennis, but he finds Seymour at the edge of the penalty area. He dribbles into the box, and Rigg, what a brilliant tackle. And Rigg now gets the ball back from Hume. A back heel, Trey Hume gets across to the right, and that was very mature from Rigg. Great tackle in the penalty area to get the ball away up to Ismail Kone, Canadian international. Now with Hoot, squares it to Porteous, Ryan Porteous, former Hibs centre-half, once the target of Sunderland. Kayembe over to the left again here, Matty Pollock, son of Jamie, looks for Seymour, plays it back to Pollock inside then to Kone, and Kone swings it wide to the right here to the 19-year-old Jack Greaves. Greaves plays it back to Porteous in the centre circle. Hoot through now again, trying to get the ball through Dennis forwards, and it's come back to Kayembe out wide, cut out by Hume for Rigg on the right hand side. In the 6th minute, 0-0 here. The ball runs back to Pollock wide on the left in the Watford half. He taps it forwards to Kayembe, and a long ball over the top for Bayo to chase, but Ballard gets in front of him. The ball rolls through to Patterson.
And you know, you look at the game, Nick, and it feels similar to the West Brom game. You know, when we were basically defending so deep, didn't they, until the sending off, which changed the game.
Away comes O'Nien down the right inside the Watford half. Looking for it is Hume. Hume runs onto it, pulls it back here for Al-Shish on his right. It's spun off Kone, and Kone hooks it back to the halfway line. And Bayo goes down. He feels he was pulled down, the Ivory Coast international, by Ballard, but Oliver Langford doesn't agree. Hume pulls it back to Rigg on the right. Rigg back again to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien swings across it in towards Al-Shish, takes it on his chest, but Hoot hooks it away onto the head of O'Nien down the right. Hume finds Rigg. Pollock challenges. Rigg holds him off, cuts inside, goes down. No foul. Not given by Oliver Langford. Now to Asprilla, looking for the run here on the shoulder of Ballard. A long-range effort from Kayembe. In fact, from Bayo.
I'll tell you what he tried to do.
He tried to chip Patterson.
Correct.
But he didn't get the height.
But it just goes to show you, you know, trying to catch you on the break quickly, get the ball forward,
gone wide
to use his pace.
And the ball eventually out for a throw to Watford on the far side on the left. But you're right, they've got pace, those front three. Yeah. Bayo, Asprilla and Dennis. Lively. The ball back in play. Pollock on halfway, squares it to Hoot. He tries to find Asprilla and does in central midfield, but a ball, wasteful ball, right through and out behind for a goal kick to Sunderland. Well, there's a ball sitting on the pitch over on the far side. Patterson hasn't got it, but no one's going to retrieve it.
Nobody wants to get it.
And in the end, Bayo has to run across and retrieve the ball.
Look at the ball, boys.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed on the pitch.
How fast score was that? Ballard plays the ball along the 6-yard line to Patterson. Patterson kicks it out here straight to Asprilla now, down from Kone's interception. Kone gets the ball back, turns away from Styles, then twists the other way and shakes him off. And now closed down by Job. Job forcing him down the touchline, back into his own half to Hoot in the centre circle. Pollock to his left, back to Wesley Hoot, and the former Anderlecht and Southampton Lazio centre half gets it out to the left to Pollock, down the line to Seymour, and he plays it back to Kayembe, back again to Hoot, looking for the run here of Greaves. It's going to bounce away from him. Will he get to it in the corner? He keeps it in there and plays it off Styles for a throw. That was intelligent play from the 19-year-old. He knew he wasn't going to get anywhere with it, so played it off Styles and has the throw in the corner for Watford. 0-0. We're in the 9th minute. Support coming across here. Bayo, his right arm with a yellow bandage around the wrist. The cross is swung in onto the roof of the net. Goal kick. Well, Portis trying to argue it took a touch off a Sunderland defender, but he's the only one arguing. And so it will be a goal kick. Ballard with the ball, 6-yard line, left-hand side of it. Just taps it across to Patterson, closed down by Bayo. Plays the ball out right through the middle, blocked there by Pollock. And a battle for it, which Ekwa wins from Kayembe, fouled by the Congo international. Free kick right in the middle of the Sunderland half. O'Nien goes to take it. Kayembe's going to get a yellow card because he's only a yard away from O'Nien when he took the free kick.
But again, it's if we can get the ball out here to Clark.
Yes. Hear those Sunderland fans. The ball's out in the corner at the other end. On the left for Watford. Pollock will take the throw. And down the line, hangs in the air a moment, headed on by O'Nien, and will be scooped in the air by Pollock. Comes down onto O'Nien's head again, looking for Rigg, headed away by Seymour, and he finds Bayo, played back to Kone, and then
He's offside.
Fortis has put it over
He's
the
offside.
top. He will be offside, I suspect, but he won't get the chance, the assistant, to raise the flag because the ball bounced out for a throw. I'm afraid it doesn't look like that rule's going to change next season. They'll have to wait until the ball has made contact with the player before they wave the flag.
Yeah, again, you know, I keep talking about Clark. Try to get him into the game, because, you know, against Greaves, young lad, test him.
Yeah, Greaves looking anxiously over his shoulder then at Clark, who's standing on the right side of the centre circle. Everyone else is across to the left. And Kone plays the ball back to goalkeeper Daniel Bachmann, the Austrian international. He's been here since 2017, though he had a season loan at Kilmarnock. Now back with Hoot, and Aushish in front of him. He plays it to Pollock. Tries to find Bayo down the left of the Sunderland penalty area, stabbed out by Ballard on his shoulder.
Yeah, it's basically a 5 what Sunderland are playing, because Styles is playing as a left wing back.
As a wing back, isn't he?
Yeah. You got 09, Ballard, and Lisa playing the 3 centre backs.
Yeah. Back to Hoot, back to Bachmann in purple in the middle of the Watford half, passes it to Hoot, and Hoot forwards here, flick on by Dennis. He's on trying to get the ball away from O'Neill. Across comes Hume, takes him out, plays the ball, finds a Asprilla, and he plays a bad pass.
He has been tackled.
Truly tackled. He's flat out on his back.
Excellent
Emmanuel
challenge.
Dennis on loan from Nottingham Forest, a Nigerian international.
We don't see enough of them, do we?
Trademark Hume tackle.
He's been humed.
That's indeed, yes. Now he just needs to be exhumed. And he's hauled to his feet. Emmanuel Dennis then back up on his feet.
That's a welcome call.
Calling
I think
card.
Hume's limped a little bit as well. You felt that, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Hume. He's limping.
He is limping. Fingers crossed he's okay. Throw to Sunderland on the far side. Headed away by Pollock. Jobe trying to get the ball clear. Drops for Asprilla. Blocked by Ekwa. Kiyembe plays it back to Hoot. Out to the left to Pollock. Forwards to Seymour. Seymour and inside to Kiyembe. Back to Pollock. And down the line again to Seymour. Looking for Dennis. He's fine. Hume seems to be okay. Forces Watford to play the ball back again to Bachmann. Takes the ball at the edge of his area. We're in the 14th minute. It's Watford 0, Sunderland 0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Here's Jobe. He managed to shake off Asprilla. Looking for Ekwa. Cut out though by Kiyembe. Comes all the way back here for the keeper to deal with. Clark advancing. It's played out to Kone. Kone twists away. Great challenge by Elise.
Excellent tackle.
Smashes the ball back to the Watford goalkeeper.
Yeah, and you know, you look at Sunderland, they've just tweaked the formation a little bit. You look where Bellingham's playing now. He's playing like in the 10 role, and Ashishi's playing basically as
further forwards.
Yeah, you know, he's just dropped back in there.
Foul by Sunderland. Free kick to Watford inside the Watford half. Sheesh helps Bayo to his feet. Bakum Bayo. He walks a bit awkwardly up towards the front line, just holding his lower back. Porteous will take the free kick for Watford 0-0 in the 15th minute. Passes it inside to Hoot. Closed down by Aushish. Out wide to Pollock, looking for Seymour. Back from Kiyembe to Pollock, and he will play it back to Daniel Bachmann in the D at the edge of the Watford penalty area. Pushes it out to Hoot, looks for Asprilla. Yasser Asprilla, 20-year-old Colombian international. Kiyembe, Kone, Pollock, and then out to Seymour on the far side, immediately closed down by Hume against the ball. And now takes it on. He's got Aushish in the middle. He's trying to cut across the centre himself, Hume. He's got support from Styles. Styles out to Clark on the left-hand side. Clark cutting inside now. Clark hoping it will open up for him. It doesn't, and he's tackled. And the ball knocked out by Kayembe, picked up by Asprilla. Asprilla now down the right wing to Bayo. Bayo in the Sunderland half, looking in the centre for Dennis. It fell awkwardly for him, but he's got it in front of Rigg. And Rigg now having to back off. And Dennis cutting across the middle, plays it to Asprilla. Looks for the run of Dennis into the penalty area, squares it, cleared by O'Nien. The block, and Job tries to clear, shanks it slightly. Comes down for Kayembe, he turns, tries to shoot over the bar.
Yeah, we've got to be thankful that Dennis tried to square it, because maybe he would have been better off having a shot, but again the pace.
Patterson puts the ball down on the 6-yard line. Goal kick to Sunderland in the 17th minute. 0-0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. So Clark still up here on his own on the left in the Watford half. And Patterson drives this up over halfway. Hoot heads it on. Kayembe nods it down to Kone. And back to, well, past Porteous to the goalkeeper. Plays it out to Hoot at the edge of the area. Hoot brings this out for Watford, whose last game of the season is away at Middlesbrough next Saturday at 12:30. Here's Aushish for Rigg. Rigg down the right wing, back to Aushish, just behind him. Aushish looks to cross, takes a deflection, chested back by Porteous to the
look
goalkeeper.
At who's in the box. We've only got one person, and that was Clark.
Tom Cleverley in his tracksuit with the foot of the stand here outside his dugout. He's the 12th manager here since 2019. Kayembe pushing it on, looking for Dennis, held off by O'Nien. Into Job in the centre, leaves it for O'Nien. O'Nien through to Aushish, back to Ekwa. Ekwa plays it back again to Ballard. Ballard across here to Elise, and Elise down the line to Styles. Styles inside to Job, holding off Dennis, plays it back, looking for Styles, flicks it back to Ballard. Bayo goes to close him down, Ballard slips it back to Patterson, who passes it out to Styles, who plays it to Ballard at the edge of the area, nearly tripped by Asprilla, but Ballard takes this out, and then surely Aushish was pushed down on the halfway line by Hoot, but the referee doesn't think so, and the ball breaks for Hume. Emmanuel Dennis is trying to get the ball off him, but Hume has it still, and tries to take it forwards, blocked by Kayembe. But it drops for Rigg. Rigg just at the back of the centre circle. Behind him is Job. Job now looking to lay it off to Ekwa. To O'Nien. And O'Nien takes it into the Watford half. Just comes back to Ekwa. Across here to Elise. Elise then to Styles. Looks for Clark. Across comes Porteous. And manages to knock the ball out for a throw to Sunderland. Styles will take this, across comes Aushish, and then plays it back to Styles, who's taken out by Greaves, picks himself up, Callum Styles, the ball comes back into the Sunderland half, Ballard to O'Nien, and O'Nien out to Hume on the far side, inside to Ekwa. Kayembe closing him down, forwards to Rigg, back to Ekwa, forwards again to Aushish in the centre circle, chased by Kone, gets the ball out to Styles on the left-hand side. Styles forced out by Greaves, plays it inside to Ekwa, who scoops the ball down the left wing for Aushish. And across comes Hoot, takes out Aushish sorely. Free kick on the touchline.
Good play, good pattern of play by Sunderland.
Aushish picking himself up, 20th minute, 0-0. Making themselves heard. The Sunderland fans, as across comes Clark with Ekwa. Aushish jogs away. It's almost in the corner on the left, this free kick. Bartolini's having a conversation with Anthony Patterson meantime, and referee making sure Yasser Asprilla's back 10 yards. Aushish, Rigg in the, well, just outside the 6-yard box. A trio, a quartet actually lined up with O'Nien just wandering away from the back of it, from the edge of the penalty area. Clark on his own with a free kick now. Eckwa standing on the left corner of the Watford box. Clark steps back to the touchline in his orange boots, whips us in, hangs in the air. Ballard gets his head on it, and Porteous heads it away.
Excellent header.
I'm not sure the goalkeeper called or just knew that Porteous was going to make the block, and then it's just caught on the goal line, but the assistant indicates it is a Sunderland corner.
Good free kick, good delivery by Jack Clark, good header by Ballard.
First corner of the game. It falls to Sunderland on the right-hand side, and it's going to be taken by Callum Styles, and he whips the ball in, headed away by Porteous. Eckwa out to Styles again, and he's tackled, throw to Sunderland. Worth mentioning as well, the Sunderland players all wearing black armbands to Charlie Hurley this afternoon. We saw a tribute from Watford before the game on the big screens above either goal. And Sunderland will be making their own tributes next weekend. A long throw to come from Elise. Step right back to the advertising boards, not far back. It's only a couple of yards from the touchline, but he's going to hurl this in from the right wing, Adji Elise, and he does. It drops for Ballard, comes back to Elise, and his cross is blocked. Comes out here, Dennis trying to get it past Eckwa, who holds him off. Eckwa then tripped by Emmanuel Dennis.
Well done, Eckwa.
And a free kick on the right side of central midfield, halfway inside the Watford half, and we are halfway through the first half, and it's Watford 0, Sunderland 0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. They are undimmed in any sense. They're just singing and singing, and away to our right, Sheffield Wednesday 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. Sheffield Wednesday may or may not be fighting for survival against Sunderland next weekend. Norwich 0, Swansea 1. An incredible result last night, Queen's Park Rangers beating Leeds 4-0. Ipswich know that 2 wins and they're up. They play Hull tonight at 8 o'clock. Clark with a free kick, drives it into the box, and at least he tries to get his head on it, so does Job. In the end, it's put behind by Hoot. Another corner. This time on the left-hand side, Styles will take this. And Styles retrieves the ball, carries it down to the left corner. And Styles with Clark down on this left-hand side as well. Plenty of red and white shirts in the penalty area. And Styles, right arm raised briefly, drives us in with his left foot, hangs there for a moment. Headed down by Job to the back of the area. Bayo gets it out. Esprio, it's bounced behind him.
Well done.
And then intercepting it, getting on the end of it, and going down actually in the process is one of the Sunderland players. He's still down, and the referee stopped play. I think it's Hume. He fell awkwardly, Trey Hume. He's lying in the middle of the Watford half, and O'Nien's up in the penalty area hurt as well. He's crouched in the penalty area. O'Nien, of course, back at the club where it all began for him. And Rigg has come back to check he's okay. The goalkeeper helps Luke O'Nien up. It's Newcastle 1, Sheffield United 1. An equaliser for Newcastle. 0-0 here at Vicarage Road. 25th minute. Hume receiving treatment as Eckwa comes across to the touchline with Job. Mike Dodd's eager to get some instruction to the pair of them. A bit of pointing going on, and some words for the pair. Hume still lying down but resting on his arm. Fingers crossed it's nothing too serious. As Clark comes back into the centre circle for a conversation with Ballard and Styles. Hume's up on his feet. He looks, to my untrained eye, to be all right.
Yeah.
So we'll get underway with a drop ball in the 26th minute. The stadium here has been redeveloped over the last few years. They've made a really, really good job of it. We used to sit in the main stand here. It was derelict, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
It was basically out of bounds, most of it. It was so run down. And just shows you that, you know, a little bit of investment. I know the Stadium of Light needs that investment as well. You may have noticed the PA speakers have got netting around them at the Stadium of Light because the brackets that hold them up are so rusty,
they
might fall down. But fingers crossed they are going to be replaced this summer. I'm told the nets are strong enough to support the weight of the speakers were the brackets to break, but they are in a serious state. But here they certainly invested money over the Premier League years, and it's a tidy stadium now, Watford. Really good facilities. Hume waits to come back on. The ball swept upfield by Patterson, headed away by Porteous to Asprilla, takes it on his chest. Asprilla reminds me of Jefferson Bennett actually in looks and sort of stature, but here he is. Asprilla flicks it inside to Bayo, who plays it back
30 seconds, he's up
Kone.
now, referee.
And now Hume has to sprint on. Dennis taking this on into the penalty area, goes round the back of try to of O'Nien, but he got a foot to it.
Excellent tackle.
And out to Rigg. Very good tackle.
If he
Stayed on his feet.
If he would have missed that, it would have been a penalty.
Yeah. And a throw to Watford on the far side. Comes back to Kone, just left of the centre circle, back again to Porteous, Ryan Porteous, the Scottish international. There's very, very few players in this starting 11 that aren't international. Matty Pollock is one of them, actually. The ball with Matty Pollock now at the back. And he plays it to Daniel Bachmann, who's 14 caps for Austria. Taps it out to Hoot. 6 caps for the Netherlands. Leaves it for Pollock, back again to Bachmann. And Bachmann, closed down by Ashish, gets the ball out wide here, right. And Styles wins it in the air from Greaves. It drops for Asprilla, though. He skips round Clark and swings it back with his left foot to the goalkeeper from the right touchline. Bachmann closed down by Clark, drives it up to the halfway line. Hume takes it on his chest. Dennis gets it in front of him, lays it off out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side. 0-0 in the 28th minute. Hume needs some support, finds it with Ashish, closed down immediately. Hume, and it's a foul. Over on the far side, on the right, a third of the way inside the Watford half. Comes back to Ballard on the centre spot. Elise to his left, then to Styles, flicking it on to Clark, back to Styles, flicks it down the left again to Clark. Clark drags it on with his right foot, then down the left of the penalty area, and Porteous smashes it out for a throw. Clark strolls across, gets the ball from the ball boy. He's going to leave this for Elise. Is it going to be another long throw? Barely any room between the advertising board and the touchline. But Elise is going to take a long throw again on the left.
This is where they've got to be wearing the, you know, if they win the ball, Watford will counter-attack.
Elise, them. In the 30th minute, nearly half an hour play, lobs the ball onto the head of Ballard. It drops into the hands of the goalkeeper. He's out quickly. He's going to bowl it out down the left wing to Dennis. Emmanuel Dennis, the Nigerian, takes it on into the Sunderland half, checks on the touchline inside to Kayembe. Ashish tries to tackle him. Kayembe's too strong, plays it to Asprilla. Asprilla now in the centre, flicks it to Kayembe, who falls over in stretching grip. But Asprilla wins it back, nearly caught by Elise, and now Elise gets the ball, is tripped by Asprilla, and it's a free kick. And Kone helps Aji up to his feet. And this free kick is on the left side of central midfield. Job looks like he's going to take it. He does. He taps it back to Ballard. We've played half an hour. It's 0-0. And O'Nien over on the far side to Ekwa. Ekwa swings it down the right wing, goes out for a throw to Watford. We've not won at home since November. A throw back from Pollock to the goalkeeper. there's a hospital in the corner, far side on the left. There are trees growing on the roof.
There is indeed.
I assume there's a garden up there, because there are mighty weeds if it's not. Now Ekwa through the middle to Alshish, looks for Clark. Clark in the penalty area to the goal line. The flag's up for offside. Free kick. Bristol City 1, Rotherham 0. Rotherham already relegated, of course. Derby County join Portsmouth in the Championship next season. Derby beating Carlisle 2-0 this lunchtime. So another trip to Fratton Park. We haven't been there for a few years, and we haven't been to the
Derby
Pride Park for a long time, have we? As the ball breaks back here for Ballard. He takes it round Patterson.
Well done,
Bayo was on his shoulder. He was well aware of the danger. And then Bayo pushes.
He took responsibilities there.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't going to make any mistakes, knowing that Bayo was on his shoulder. 0-0 in the 32nd minute.
Make sure.
It's played back to Patterson. Lifts it out to the left wing. Styles chests it down and out. Little things like that.
Yeah.
Those are the sort of little mistakes that can be costly. Greaves wants some support. He's taken the throw on the right wing for Watford, the 19-year-old. He drops it to Kayembe, back to Jack Greaves, slips it inside to Kone, lost though to Styles. Now breaks for Porteous and Kayembe in the middle. Kayembe rolling it to Dennis. He loses it, lost his balance. Job gets it through to Alshish. Alshish making the run to Clark, try and chase this. Through on the shoulder of Hoot, who gets the ball away. Clark goes with him and does well. Gets the ball, but is hauled down. The referee says no, he wasn't. It's picked up by Rigg, plays it in the middle to Ekwa, back onto halfway to O'Nien, and just ahead of him is Job. And Job plays it back now to Ballard in the Sunderland half. Again, Bayo's on his shoulder. He tried to play it back to Patterson. Bayo almost got it, he blocked it, and eventually Ballard does get it back to Patterson. Bayo's going to keep doing that. Norwich 1, Swansea 1. Hoot kicks the ball away. It drops to Ekwa in the Sunderland half. Back, it slips past O'Nien, but he gets back on it. Plays it back to Patterson, and Dennis goes up over the shoulder of O'Nien at the edge of the penalty area and picks himself up. 34th minute, 0-0. BBC Radio Newcastle. There's a podcast with Frankie Francis, Simon Pride and myself is available on BBC Sounds. We talk about the season and what's ahead. A Sunderland winner. Free kick just inside the Sunderland half on the right-hand side.
Crying for the ball, isn't he?
And the kick from the free kick will bounce away out for a throw to Watford on the right wing. Deep in the Watford half. Greaves takes it quickly to Porteous. Porteous to Kayembe. Up into the centre circle to Asprilla. Asprilla being chased by Ekwa. Ekwa goes with Asprilla, gets it out to Seamer on the left touchline, the Swede, and he's taking on Hume to the goal line. Hume managed to knock it behind. It
Excellent
came off
defending.
the Swede, and it's a goal kick to Sunderland, and Hume's name echoes around the Sunderland fans away to our right. Flags from all the branches, Ferry Hill, Thames, Red House, all draped over the front of the railings at the foot of the stand to our right. Goal kick which Patterson's about to take. Bayo stationed on the 18-yard line. Patterson drives this up over halfway, headed on by Hume, drops for Pollock on the shoulder of Ashish. Back up into the Sunderland half, headed
offside.
on, and Ballard will leave it for Job, who plays it back to Patterson. Kicks this out, wild kick. Eventually out to O'Nien, it could have gone anywhere. And out to Hume on the right. Seamer forces him back. Plays it back to Ballard. Southampton 0, Stoke 1. Here's Job, plays it back to Patterson. Bayo jogs in again, and Patterson with his left foot hooks this away down the left wing. A chase back for Greaves. Ashish trying to get in front of him, goes out for a throw to Sunderland. Styles halfway inside the Watford half will take the throw. needs some help. Clark comes across. He drops it to Clark, back to Styles. Nice ball, slipped down the left here, and
Good
Clark
tackle.
tackled by Hoot. And back in the corner, Clark tries to win it back, but Hoot kicks us away up onto halfway. Bayo heads it on, and O'Nien back to Patterson. 0-0 in the 36th minute. I've not actually written anything down yet.
Because there's nothing to write down.
There's been nothing really to write down, is there? It's
paint a picture.
We're trying to paint pictures, but it's hard when you've only got one brush and one colour. Anyway, it's back with Daniel Batman, who's in purple. There you go. Swings it through the middle. Referee Oliver Langford just steps back from the ball. He's in orange, and Watford in well, yellow and black, but it's yellow shirts with, to my mind, black just splashed all over the front of them. Black shorts and yellow socks. Sunderland in their red and white this afternoon. The ball is back with Porteous. Plays it up to Bayo, looking for a Asprilla. Takes this and tries to get away through the middle, slipping it through for Dennis, but cleared by O'Nien. Drops into the Sunderland dugout. Quick throw from Porteous to Greaves down the right. Flicks it past Styles. Plays it inside. It runs back away from Dennis, and O'Nien clears up to Pollock at the front of the centre circle. Now Kiyembe blocked his shot. Drops to Bayo, calls for handball. No appeals from the Watford players. Pollock heads it on, down to Asprilla on this right-hand side. 38th minute, slips it inside to Kiyembe, looking for Dennis at the right side of the penalty area. Pulls the ball back straight to Jobe.
There's Clark gone now.
Now Clark's making the run, but it's played up to Hoot, who nods it down to Pollock, and Pollock plays it to Kiyembe, back across to Kone on the left for Watford, inside the Sunderland half, and he comes inside to his right, tries a low shot, well wide. Goal kick. Wolves 1, Luton 0. We actually passed the 2 Luton Town buses, didn't we, on the way down?
We did indeed.
As Premier League clubs do now, they take 2 buses everywhere.
They need to, one's for the staff.
Exactly.
The coaching.
It is. Yeah. And the ball given to, well, Ballard let it run past, and the referee's looking at his watch and warning Patterson about time wasting here. Oliver Langford in charge of 2 games previously involving Sunderland this season. A 0-0 draw at home to Queen's Park Rangers. I hope that's not a precedent. And a 2-0 win over Preston on New Year's Day. Here's Aji Elise on the left. Kicks it up through the centre circle. Kiyembe heads it on, Ekwe heads it up, Jobe nods it on. It's hooked in the air by Pollock. It hangs there, it spins, it comes down to Asprilla and Jobe. Asprilla gets in front of Jobe, plays it back to Porteous. Kiyembe on the halfway line, back to Wesley Hoot. And Hoot across to the left to Matty Pollock. Forwards to Dennis, and he's going to try and outrun O'Nien, but he can't. He has to check and play the ball back behind him to Pollock, inside to Kiyembe in the Sunderland half now on the left-hand side, looking to get Seamer in, but O'Nien, boy, played it off Ballard, and Seamer runs onto it in the penalty area, and it's put behind by Ballard.
Excellent defending, Ballard. And you can see they play them little 1-2s around that 18-yard box, aren't they, giving goals.
Watford's first corner, it comes to the 40th minute, it's 0-0.
This is where we've got to be strong.
Watford throwing everybody forwards, leaving just Greaves back in the midfield.
Pollard.
Kone's going to take this.
Hoot.
They've got, yeah, the centre-backs, Pollock, Hoot and Porteous are all up. Porteous with his arms raised, Kone then with a corner from the left, drives it straight at Seamer, leaves it for Asprilla, now trying to get it to Pollock.
Great block.
Blocked though by Elise.
Great block.
And out for a throw on this right-hand side. Greaves will take this. We've got 5 minutes till half-time, well, depending on how much time will be added on now. Mistake by Asprilla. Let's Aushish in. Aushish and Clark away down the left. Aushish cutting inside in the middle. Aushish is going to roll it here now to Rigg. Rigg in the area.
Oh, he's missed.
Scored.
He's missed.
No, he's missed. Oh. It looked so much like it had gone in, and Rigg was about to celebrate. It's gone wide.
Great opportunity.
That was a great opportunity for Rigg. That was so deceptive. We all thought it was in.
Ashish did excellent there.
Yeah, great break.
You've got to hit the target. You've got to hit the target.
That was an excellent opportunity for Rigg. He knows it as well. 0-0 it remains. Play underway again. And Rigg trying to get it back to Equa. Rigg gets on the end of it again, pushes it into the area, but Pollock clears up to the centre circle. Here's Job. Job to Clark. Clark trying to get round Porteous. He has done into the penalty area, and then he's blocked again. Gets it back down on his right. Tried to find Rigg or Hume.
Anywhere will
Watford,
do.
yeah, just smash it out. Picked up by Styles. Styles, the sun comes out as Styles breaks in. A block by Hoot. Comes out to Job. Plays it into the middle to Equa. And now to O'Nien. O'Nien down the right wing, down the right of the penalty area to Hume. Hume tries to cross. Blocked, comes down to Equa. Equa now trying to roll it through into the penalty area to Job. It goes down. Doesn't appeal. Comes back to Rigg. Rigg pulls it back straight to Kayembe. He's getting it out to Dennis.
Be careful.
And now Bayo. Bayo. Equa tries to get round him, but Bayo comes back, leaves it for Seamer, who places it inside to Pollock. Forwards down that left wing to Bayo. Bounces awkwardly. He gets it back to Seamer, who gives it away then to Equa. Equa, Job's calling for it, tries to get it forwards to Ashish. He loses it. Played back by Seamer to the goalkeeper. Tapped out to Hoot. And out to Asprilla. 43rd minute, 0-0. Asprilla back to Porteous at the edge of the penalty area. Back to the goalkeeper. Purple kit and orange gloves and boots. Gets it out to Pollock, who just launches it up into the...
Good pressure by Clark.
Half. And the ball will roll out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side. Most of the pitch bathed in sunshine at the moment. The roof of the Graham Taylor stand casts a shadow. That familiar, very famous roof that you've seen over the years, the curves undulating along the top of the stand. As Seamer with a throw to Bayo. Seamer again, trying to get it inside to Dennis. Pushed off the ball by O'Nien, who gets a second stab at it. And out wide as to... Oh, is he fouled? He is by Seamer. Free kick to Sunderland. Out comes Patterson to take it. A couple of minutes till added time. We had treatment to Trey Hume, which might add a couple of minutes on. Patterson waiting for everybody to drift up into the Watford half. Kicks. Hangs. Headed away by Pollock. And drops for Job. Job through for Rigg. Rigg through the middle, trying to roll it through to Clark, but it's cut out by Greaves. And Greaves now driving it up into the Sunderland half, where O'Nien heads it back to Patterson at the edge of the area. Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 1. O'Nien just plays it back to Patterson. Huddersfield 0, Birmingham 1. Big game at the bottom of the table. Ball hangs in the air. Pollock heads it on. Huddersfield on 44 points, Birmingham on 46. Sheffield Wednesday just above them on 47. Plymouth on 48. So it's tight at the bottom of the Championship. All to play for. It could be all to play for Sheffield Wednesday. Although if they win this afternoon, it would make things immeasurably better for them. The ball comes back to Bachmann. Kicks onto the head of O'Nien. 2 minutes of added time now.
2 minutes of time added on.
We're playing those added minutes now. Heading to half time, goalless. There's a surprise.
You've got to say that Sunderland have slowly but surely played themselves back into the game, haven't they?
They have, yeah. Styles, back to Job. Across to O'Nien. O'Nien now down the right, looking for the run of O'Sheesh down the right of the penalty area. Flag stays down. O'Sheesh twists and crosses. Greaves heads it out ahead of Clark. Drops to Ekwa, tries to lift it into the box for Job. Drops here for Hume, and the block made by the keeper lifts the ball onto the roof of the net.
Unlucky, it just wouldn't come down.
No.
Good play again.
Well, they scored just before half-time at the Hawthorns. They've got a corner here. It was a corner at the Hawthorns that saw Ekwa just swing his leg at it, and it flew into the top corner. Can Sunderland do it again here at Vicarage Road? Styles on the left. Ekwa is actually standing out in midfield. Styles then with the corner kick, hangs in the air, up goes Ballard to try and get his head on it.
Foul.
The whistle's blown, foul, and a free kick to Watford. We're not going to get a repeat of the Ekwa finish. We played a minute and a half of the minimum 2 being added on at the end here of the first half. Daniel Backman waiting for everybody to get upfield. All grouping pretty much in the centre circle and just over to the far side. The kick from Backman. We're just about on
offside.
47 minutes. Flag is up, offside, and a free kick to Sunderland. It won't have time to take the free kick. 0-0 at half-time. One big opportunity for Sunderland when O'Sheesh found Rigg down the right, but Rigg smashed the ball wide of the right. We all thought he scored, but it was just the wrong side of the post. Plenty of endeavour, but it's just the final ball.
Yeah, just the final ball, but you know, Sunderland started to get hold of the game a little bit. As just mentioned there, a couple of opportunities. Hume was unlucky with his, just wouldn't come down, but it's starting to, you know, the most important thing is don't get caught out on the counter-attack, because they have got a little bit of pace.
They've got that pace through the centre, and they are closing down at the edge of the area, but they actually started to step off a little bit towards the end of the first
I think
half.
they're showing Sunderland a little bit of respect, because you've got to say Sunderland are handling the ball very well when they're trying to play the way out.
O'Sheesh and Job, we thought it would be the other way around in terms of who would be up front and who behind, but O'Sheesh actually done okay in that role.
Yeah, he's playing further forward. Job's just dropped back in there, just give us a little bit more in the middle of the park. But you know, Michael Dodds will be happy with that first 45 minutes. You know, just important that we concentrate at the back. You know, I think we'll get a couple of opportunities in the second half.
The big thing is, can either side take any opportunities? I mean, they are few and far between. There's no question about that.
There's no pressure, but they'll get frustrated. That's for sure.
So last home game of the season, as I said in the commentary, they haven't won here since November. They would love to end the season on a win, on a high for Tom Cleverley. But Tom Cleverley, as we said earlier, has only had 1 win in his 7 in charge, so it sort of suggests they're a little bit conservative. There's obviously clearly a problem in terms of finishing for them.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with both teams, isn't it? You know, and again, we come into and we keep saying whoever scores first most probably go on and win the game.
The Sunderland bench includes Hamir, Roberts, Barr and Watson. It'd be interesting to see whether Tommy Watson's introduced in the second half at any point this afternoon, and indeed if Hamir is. I'm more minded to think he's more likely to bring on Mundell and Barr.
I think he will. You know, we spoke about Barr, and I think he may get 20 minutes near the end of the game.
So we've got the second half to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and safc.com. At the break, chances few and far between. It is Watford 0, Sunderland 0.
On BBC iPlayer.
Mammals long ago invaded every habitat on Earth. They are now found in every ocean and on every continent, in the air and underground.
Mammals with David Attenborough.
In this series, we'll reveal the secrets behind their success.
Trying to spot a wolf in this is like a needle in a haystack.
And the challenges they now face.
They just don't trust you. They don't trust anyone.
Mammals. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Total Sport North East. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Half-time then at St James's Park, it's Newcastle United 1, Sheffield United 1, and at Vicarage Road it is Watford 0, Sunderland 0. We will be back with our respective commentary teams for full coverage of the second half in around about 10 minutes time. Let's run through some of the other scores from this afternoon then. We start in the Premier League where the early game finished West Ham 2, Liverpool 2. Mikel Antonio got a point for West Ham. They'd been 1-0 up and then found themselves 2-1 down. In the other 3 o'clock games, no goals between Fulham and Crystal Palace or between Manchester United and Burnley, but Wolves do lead Luton by 1-0 Wang Hee-chan 5 minutes before half-time. The 5:30 game is Everton against Brentford. The 8 o'clock game is Aston Villa against Chelsea.
Total Sport North East. On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Full programme in the Championship apart from last night's game where Leeds United were thumped by Queen's Park Rangers. That promoted Leicester City. The focus is down the bottom this afternoon though. Huddersfield against Birmingham, an absolute thriller in terms of tension and nervousness. It's 1-0 to Birmingham and Huddersfield are relegated as it stands. If they lose, they go down. If Birmingham lose and a couple of other things go against them, they go down. But as it stands, Huddersfield being relegated. Koji Miyoshi for Birmingham on the stroke of half-time. Huddersfield 0, Birmingham City 1. Up the other end, well, sort of up the other end, West Bromwich Albion, who are playing Sheffield Wednesday, are right down the bottom, but West Brom can guarantee themselves a playoff place today. If they win, they are losing. Sheffield Wednesday 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. In the other games then, Blackburn 0, Coventry 0, Bristol City 1-0 up on already relegated Rotherham, a Tommy Conway penalty. Middlesbrough have just scored on the stroke of half-time to lead 1-0 away at Cardiff City. Matt Clark with that goal. No goals between Millwall and Plymouth. Norwich have turned it around to be beating Swansea by 2-1. Jamie Pattison gave Swansea the lead. Gabriel Sara and Josh Sargent in the last 10 minutes of the first half for Norwich. Stoke City 1-0 up at Southampton. Tyrese Campbell. Southampton already guaranteed a playoff spot though. And the 8 o'clock game tonight in the Championship is Hull City against Ipswich.
Total Sport North East. The Newcastle and Sunderland AFC podcast on BBC Sounds. BBC Radio Newcastle.
It was the final round of fixtures in League One. They all took place at lunchtime, so everything was sorted. Derby won promotion by beating already relegated Carlisle United 2-0. That meant Bolton had to settle for the playoffs. They drew 3-3 at Peterborough United, so Bolton finished third, Peterborough finished fourth. Oxford United finished fifth by virtue of winning 2-1 at Exeter. Barnsley's 1-1 draw at home to Northampton was enough for them to stay in the playoffs and finish sixth. But all of that is because Lincoln City were beaten 2-0 at home by Portsmouth, the champions, and that means that it is Lincoln who miss out on the playoffs on the final day of the season. Cheltenham have been relegated from League One down to League Two. They lost 2-1 at Stevenage today. Elsewhere in that division, Fleetwood beat Burton Albion 3-0. Burton were the only ones who might have been able to overhaul, to go down instead of Cheltenham, I should have said, but Cheltenham had to win and they didn't. Port Vale 0, Cambridge 0, Reading 3, Blackpool 2, Leyton Orient 1-3-1 at Shrewsbury, Wigan Athletic beat Bristol Rovers 2-0, and Wycombe Wanderers beat Charlton Athletic 1-0.
Total Sport North East. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into League 2, Sutton United will be relegated if they don't win this afternoon, and they are losing 2-0 at MK Dons. Jack Payne and Alex Gilby with those goals from Mike Williamson's side. Fascinating game between Colchester and Crewe. If they both draw, it sort of satisfies them both. Colchester will stay up with a point. Crewe are in the playoffs with a point. But at the moment, Colchester are winning. So they are staying up as it stands, Colchester. They are 1-0 up on Crewe. Noah Chilvers 10 minutes before half-time. Doncaster will make it into the playoffs if they win or draw. They are winning, 2-0 away at Gillingham. Barrow would get into the playoffs if they beat Mansfield, but they're losing by 1-0 at half-time. Walsall, in theory, would take advantage of that, but they're losing 2-1 at AFC Wimbledon as well. Bradford, who have a very outside chance of the playoffs, are 2-0 up on Newport County. Crawley, who need to win to get themselves involved in that as well. It's all very, very complicated in the League 2 playoffs with 45 minutes to go. They are beating Grimsby by 2-0. In the other games, slightly less meaningful in League 2. It's Accrington Stanley 1, Tranmere Rovers 1, Forest Green Rovers and Notts County is goalless. Salford City 2, Harrogate 2, Swindon Town 2, Morecambe 2 as well. Morecambe with all sorts of off-field players unable to pay their players at the weekend, quite a few of them not playing today as a result. Charlie Austin has scored both of Swindon's goals, and Stockport County are winning 1-0 away at already promoted Wrexham.
Total Sport North East. Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC Newcastle. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into non-league then, not a huge number of games today, but some very, very important ones. It's big for Hebburn, for whom a win at Sheffield FC would be enough. So too would be matching the result of Stockton. So Hebburn are drawing 0-0 at Sheffield at half-time, and importantly for them, Stockton are also drawing 0-0 at Belper. So as it stands, Hebburn are champions, but a long, long way to go. Elsewhere in the NPL East Division, before we jump back up to the Premier Division, they're still playing, but Dunstan still playing in the first half, but Dunstan are drawing 0-0 at Stocksbridge Park Steels. Ashington they were winning just before half-time. They are 1-0 up at half-time at home to North Ferriby. Andrew Cartwright with their goal, and Consett drawing 1-0 at home to Bridlington at half-time. They'd taken the lead early on after just 5 minutes through Caleb Young. But our featured match of the day is in the Premier Division. It's at Craig Park. Morpeth Town rounding out their season at home to Stafford Rangers, and our non-league reporter Paul Dixon has seen some goals. Paul?
I certainly have, Colin. Yes, the half-time score, Morpeth 3, Stafford 0. A young Morpeth side playing some really good attacking football and scoring goals. Went ahead on the 5th minute, break down the right by Jack Foley. His pinpoint cross was met by top goal scorer Sam Hodgson, who fired his shot high into the roof of the net. Excellent start for the home team. And then it was Vinny Steels who had a great run down the left-hand side, played in Nick Bellardo, and a superb cross was volleyed into the net by Jack Foley. Really good goal on 25 minutes. And then on the 37th minute, Sam Hodgson got his second goal when he chipped the keeper from the edge of the box after a defence-splitting pass by Ryan Romwell. Excellent goal. Some really good football being played by this young Morpeth team. There's a decent crowd here, the sun's out, and I'm really enjoying the first half. Morpeth 3, Stafford 0, half-time.
Thank you, Paul. It is a lovely place to play and watch football when the sunshine is out, is Craig Park. We'll do our local football roundup, as always, at 5:45.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
When do you or someone in your life demand a standing ovation for something that probably doesn't deserve it? Jeff in Burnup Field, what's yours?
Getting the duvet cover on the bed without getting lost inside it. It's hard, but when you do it and you don't swear, I think someone needs to clap.
Amanda in Sunderland, it's your hubby who demands a standing ovation, yeah?
He cooks not even once a month, and when he does, there's a grand announcement, and after it, he's exhausted. He needs a standing ovation, he needs a mention in the Michelin Guide, and an op-ed in the Daily Mail.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Back Monday morning
from 6. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Newcastle United drawing 1-1 at home with Sheffield United at half-time. Alexander Isak with the equaliser. Sunderland drawing as well, 0-0 away at Watford at the break. We'll be back with the commentary teams in just a moment. But in cricket, Durham hosting the early Division 1 leaders Essex at Chesterley Street in the County Championship. We're well into day 2 now, and Radio Newcastle's cricket commentator Martin Emerson can bring us up to speed.
Yeah, it's been a slow afternoon session. They've just gone off for tea, and Essex have added 123 runs during it and not lost a wicket, so they're still only 2 down, and they are 224-2 at tea and trail by 138. Partnership so far of 126 from 233 balls from Feroz Kushi, who is on 88, and Nick Brown, who's on 46. But Kushi is a little bit lucky to be out there because he was dropped down the leg side when he was on 1 off a ball from Bryden Cars, and then not long after that he was then hit in the back and suffered quite a nasty bruise to his lower back and was in some pain and had to be seen by the physio. So he had a bit of a torrid time before lunch, but he's managed to get over that in the afternoon session. He's done well there. He's kept Essex very much in this. There's nothing much going on for the bowlers at the moment, but the new ball will be available in 14 overs time, and Durham will have around about 18 overs at the end of the day to use that, and I think it's probably going to be that new ball that could make a bit of a difference here. But Essex 220 for 2, trail by 138.
Martin, thank you very much. And you can keep following that one. There is ball-by-ball commentary available on the BBC Sport website and app. That will also be the place tomorrow to find commentary of Newcastle Falcons against Sale Sharks. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow afternoon. Steve Diamond is the consultant director of rugby, taking on his former team.
Well, I think the threat they bring is they're a very good squad. They're well coached. It's a well-run club. They bring a motivation and element because they need to be in the top 4, and I think they've got to win most of their games, as 2 or 3 of the clubs who are vying for that. So we've got a different motivation. Our motivation is we're at home with a big crowd, the penultimate home game, and we've just been beaten 85-14. I don't think I need to bang the drum for our motivation. I think Sale bring a plethora of internationals with them, the Currys, Georgia Ford, Manu, and then a gang of younger lads, the wingers and back 3, Reid, Roebuck and Carpenter, who will be internationals. So they've got a fantastic squad. We won't be concerned with those. We'll be looking after our own abilities and a real concentration on our own skill set this week.
So that there is Steve Diamond, Consultant Director of Rugby at Newcastle Falcons. Like I say, 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow afternoon. Live coverage on the BBC Sport website and app. In basketball, in the men's BBL Championship, Newcastle Eagles won their playoff quarter-final first leg by 19 points against Caledonia Gladiators. That is a good lead to take into the second leg next Friday. In the WBBL Championship today, 2 games, Durham Palatinate came back to beat Oakland Wolves 72-70. They only led in the final 3 minutes of the game. The first 37 they were behind for the entirety of it. Newcastle Eagles at home to Manchester Giants tonight. It's also day 8 of the World Snooker Championships in Sheffield in the afternoon session. John Higgins, the 4-time champion, 2 frames to 1 up on Mark Allen. It's been a slow burner, that one. Jack Jones, 10-8 up on Si Jiahui of China. They will play to a finish this afternoon. It is 1st to 13. But we are going back to St James's Park and Vicarage Road. It's Newcastle United 1, Sheffield United 1. Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson are on your FM frequencies for the second half. Watford against Sunderland, goalless, but Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett's second half commentary is on DAB and Freeview Channel 719.
Total Sport North East. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE. BBC Radio Newcastle.
And we wait for Sunderland to appear for the second half, but Watford are going to make a couple of changes.
Thanks for still being in the chat. I've got lots of kids in the background. It's very noisy, that's why I've not had a chat at half time, because the noise would be quite irritating. Here comes the second half, let's enjoy it.
In the summer, and the players replaced are Jack Greaves and Emmanuel Dennis as Sunderland appear for the second half, led out by Jove, O'Nien, Rigg, Styles, Ballard, Elise, Patterson, Hume and Ekwa. And indeed the board being held up now to show the replacements for Watford, and showing indeed it's Greaves and Dennis who are being replaced for the second half. So I wonder what the thinking from Tom Cleverley is there.
Well, again, you know, Greaves, I think he struggled to get into the game really. Maybe it might have been a gamble playing the young lad. So I think the most probably want more from the wing backs, and I think maybe Dennis has picked up a knock.
It could well be the case, yeah. And so it'll be Sunderland to get the second half underway. They're defending the goal away to our left in this second half, attacking the Sunderland fans in the right-hand side of the goal to our right. And Joe plays the ball back here to Ballard, wide on the right-hand side. And back to Patterson, who's in light blue. Sunderland in their red and white this afternoon. Watford in their yellow shirts with black slashed all over the front. Ball picked up in midfield by Joe. Ashish is making a break. Clark through the middle. Ashish takes it on. He's still looking to try and find Clark. Clark at the edge of the area. It breaks for Andrews, who sweeps across the face of Clark and then turns the ball out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side. 15th versus 13th at the start of play this afternoon. Just 3 points between the two teams.
Right.
That's the Watford gap.
Very good.
And the ball dropped at the bottom of the Graham Taylor stand for this throw for Sunderland, which Elise will take. down the line to Ashish, who puts it out under pressure. Patterson in goal. O'Nien, Ballard and Elise, Hume and Styles, the back five. Equa, Rigg, Ashish, Clark and Joe, but Ashish is playing the further forwards. Here's Rigg in the middle, looking for Clark. Clark left of the penalty area, into the box he goes. Hoot and Porteous on his shoulder. It's played out though. They get it away, Watford. Picked up by Elise, played inside to Equa. Equa to Job, Job in the middle, back to O'Nien. And O'Nien plays it back to Ballard. Closed down by Bayo, across to Styles on the far side, down the line to Elise. Elise, stab from Andrews. Watford born, came through the academy from the age of 12, Ryan Andrews, 19 now. And the attendance today, 20,712, 2,000 plus from Sunderland away to our right. And the ball out for a throw to Sunderland, halfway inside their own half. Elise taking it, down the line it goes, headed back. Oh, it could be headed back into the path of Clark here by Porteous. Clark in the penalty area on his right foot.
Oh, he's missed
just
the target.
round the foot of the post. Did all the hard work and then put the ball wide in the 48th minute.
You've got to say that's another good opportunity there.
And he shot just past the foot of the post.
Again, you've got to hit the target, Nick.
It's Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 2, but it's Birmingham 1, Huddersfield 1. So that's all tense at the bottom of the table. Wolves 2, Luton 0. Throw here for Watford on the left. Pollock will take this to short of halfway. And Pollock now just down the line to Bayo. And Bakun Bayo, Ivory Coast international 2 caps, tries to win this by sticking his right foot out with Ballard. He gets to the edge of the area, Ballard holds him off. Bayo thought he was fouled, he was looking for a penalty, he was never going to get that. Ashish chases now down the right wing, Hoot gets in front of him, and the Dutchman plays it back to the Austrian goalkeeper, Bachmann, who passes it out to Porteous. He plays it back across on the left to Hoot, and Hoot here to Pollock. And Pollock forwards again to Kone, inside to Kiyembe, up towards Seamer, back to Kone on the wing, and now Seamer's made a run into the penalty area, but out comes Patterson, slides out and catches the ball, takes the ball. 0-0 still.
Yeah, we've had 2 good opportunities, especially when you're away from home. You've got to hit the target with one of them chances, Nick.
The first half stats were Watford had 1 shot on target, Sunderland had 2 shots on target. And Watford had the bulk of possession, Sunderland had 41%. Ball comes back here, the goalkeeper taps it up to the halfway line where Pollock's going to take a throw for Watford. The referee Oliver Langford in his orange jersey stops Pollock taking any further yardage. Sheffield Wednesday 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. As O'Nien heads it back away from Seamer to Patterson. 50 minutes nearly played, 0-0. Patterson pushes the ball out to Job at the edge of the area, across to Ballard. Ballard now wide again to O'Nien, a block by Mateus Martins. He puts the ball out. Throw to Sunderland, halfway inside their own half. Across comes Equa. O'Nien dries the ball off on his shirt. He might have to go down the line here. He does. He's looking for Rigg. It's cut out by Seamer, put out by Martins again for another throw to Sunderland. O'Nien flicks it up with his right foot, dries the ball off again here, and he drops it to Ashish, who hooks it onto Hume. Hume, he's found Clark, who swung it across to Styles on the left. Styles now making a run at Ryan Andrews, still going Styles, across the middle. Styles leaves it for Equa, who drives it down to Clark at the corner of the penalty area on the left, cuts in, trying to push it back now to Equa. Equa through again to Aji Elise. Clark at the edge of the area, low shot. Goalkeeper gets his body behind the ball.
Unlucky. Well worked.
Well, the better chances have come from Sunderland in the game so far. We're in the 52nd minute. It's still 0-0. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Here is Porteous. Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 0. Puts the ball out, throw to Sunderland on their left, halfway inside their own half. A long throw back to 09 in the penalty area. Bayo giving chase. Patterson kicks up over the halfway line, chested down by Hoot. He plays it to Pollock and back to the goalkeeper in his purple at the edge of the area. Passes it out to Porteous, and Porteous taps it to Hoot. Hoot, low ball through the middle to Asprilla in the centre circle. Quickly out to Martins. Martins now on the left, he cuts inside, he's going through the middle. Bayo's through there. He plays it behind Bayo, leaves it for Ryan Andrews. Ryan Andrews' low shot is blocked by Styles and will bounce out for a throw on the far side. Andrews will take the throw halfway inside the Sunderland half in the 53rd minute. Back to Kiyembe. Down the line, Andrews, now Kone, back to Kiyembe on the touchline, and he plays it back into the Watford half to Porteous, who plays it inside to Hoot in the middle, plays it through to Kone, back to Hoot, and out to the left-hand side to Pollock on the halfway line, down the left wing to Seamer, and Seamer plays it back again to Kone, then to Pollock, inside and out again to Martins. Martins wrestles with Hume, they both pick themselves up and the ball comes back to the halfway line. Hoot rolls it across to Asprilla just inside the Sunderland half. He's got to come past Elise. He puts a foot out, Elise, but it gets through eventually to Porteous on the right touchline. He leaves it for Andrews, inside to Kiyembe and back to Andrews wide on the right. Behind him is Asprilla, and Asprilla into the centre circle to Pollock. Forwards down the left to Martins, the Brazilian. He holds off Hume, manages to shake him off, plays it to Seamer on the left of the penalty area. Hume tries to slide in, Seamer from the goal line pulls it back, headed away by Ballard. Driven at Patterson. What a great save.
Good save,
Smashing
Patterson.
save, I think, from Kiyembe, but a great save from Patterson. And here comes Kone now, having another go, and it's wide. 2-1 to Newcastle in the Premier League against Sheffield United. Great save by Patterson.
Yeah.
Block on the line. And it's still 0-0. Kick has not been taken, despite what you hear from the right from the Sunderland fans. It is now taken by Patterson. Hangs in the air, headed by Hume. Foul by Hume on Pollock, and here's Hoot playing the ball back. The fans have been playing with a beach ball. The stewards removed it apparently, but they've got it back again, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick to Sunderland. That's a very end of season thing to be doing. 0-0 here at Vicarage Road, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. We're in the 55th minute, and Patterson just flicks the ball with his hand to Ballard to position on the 6-yard line, and Ballard passes it to Patterson. Closed down by Bayo. Patterson's kick hangs high and then headed back by Hoot to the goalkeeper Daniel Bachmann, who rolls it back to the Dutchman, and Hoot closed down by Rigg, leaves it for Pollock, back to Bachmann. Now Sheesh goes to close down. Jobe went to cut out and intercept in the middle, but it's won by Asprilla, who manages to tap it out here on the left to Seamer, who leaves it for Martins. Martins now sprinting towards the edge of the penalty area, leaves it, tried to get it through to Seamer.
Well done, excellent defending.
It behind for a goal kick.
Good defending.
Hume getting across the face of Seamer. Goal kick again then for Sunderland in the 56th, nearly the 57th minute of the game. Goalless. Watford fans now trying to inject some life into the game. Patterson, everyone's come forwards. Patterson's kick. spins in the air, drops on the head of Pollock, headed on again by Ekwa, looking for Hume, who's trying to find Aushish, but it'll curl round him, and Hoot gets it back to the goalkeeper, out to Porteous, back to Hoot, and he plays it wide left to Seamer, and Seamer plays it behind into Pollock, lifts it up into the Sunderland half, just onto the head of Ballard. Asprilla looking for Bayo, leaving it, nope, he's taking this on, he's got Martins in support, now he passes to Martins in the penalty area, crossed into the box, Adji Elise cuts it out, comes out to Hume, in the middle, he's going to try and find Clark now, trying to get around Porteous, he's done that, he's taking this on, he's still going, Clark at the edge of the penalty area is tackled, good tackle by Hoot, who then puts his elbow through the back of Hume, and Clark picks himself up and gets back and jogs back to hope to get the ball again, because Ekwa's got this just inside the Watford half. Centre circle to Job, looking for Aushish. Aushish now running through the middle, looking for Clark's run into the penalty area, takes it on his right, passes it at the goalkeeper.
He's passed it to him. It's a back pass. Put your foot through it.
Comfortable save for Daniel Bachmann. Watford 0, Sunderland 0, 58th minute. Bachmann just rolls the ball to Porteous. Porteous taps it out to Kayembe, back to Porteous at the edge of the area, and Middlesbrough leading 3-0 now this afternoon. Cardiff on the left of midfield. Hoot
he's gone
through, and Martins would have been away.
I tell you what,
I know, Nyan handball. It's a yellow card for Luke
That's a good yellow card to take.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Good yellow card to take because he was away.
Martin was away.
Well done, Luke O'Nien.
Just stuck his hand up. I suspect the Watford players are trying to say that he was last man and he should be sent off. But the referee, having shown the yellow, whatever remonstrations the Watford players have, he's not going to change his mind now. That's a free kick to Watford, just in the centre circle. Seamer is furious, he's arguing with the fourth official, Sam Perkis, down here on the touchline. Hoot's not particularly pleased either, he's shouting from the centre circle, shaking his head at the fourth official. Well, that's livened things up. Hoot takes the free kick, hangs in the air for Andrews in the penalty area, put off by Elise, corner to Watford. Elise coming through and just putting him off his stride when he took the shot. Second corner of the game for Watford, it's on the right hand side. And
we've got to be switched on here.
Asprilla's going to take this corner from
somebody else out.
Played nearly an hour, 0-0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Concentrate.
So Asprilla with his left towards the far side of the penalty area, it bounces out. And it's a goal kick to Sunderland. Norwich 2, Swansea 2. Patterson in his light blue takes the ball, places it on the goal line, 6-yard line, sorry. Barr is warming up, Roberts is warming up. Bristol City 2, Rotherham 0. Patterson's kick up into the Watford half. Pollock heads it on. Martins takes it on his chest, drops for Job in the middle, and he puts it high in the air, way to the left. It'll be too much for Styles to try and keep it in. Andrews leaves the throw for Porteous. 3-1 to Newcastle at home to Sheffield United. Sheffield United will be relegated if they lose this afternoon. Looks like odds on that they will. Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 4. Asprilla from the throw, just trying to get his toe to it. He does. He gets down the right of the penalty area, tries to check. Ballard's gone with him. He hooks a cross in. Hume heads it out. Aushish flicks it on with his chest into the path of Rigg for Clark to run onto. Down the right-hand side here, Porteous has come across, and Clark's trying to take this into the penalty area. He's trying to get round Hoot, and then blocked by Porteous. out for Martins. O'Nien backing away from him, Bayo through the middle. Martins still taking this on, passes it straight to Elise. Home fans absolutely furious. Job plays it, there's going to be a change for Sunderland. Barr and Roberts are being called back. And here's Rigg, leaving it for Job. And Job plays it across here now to Hume. Hume wide to Rigg. Rigg plays it back to Ekwa, back onto halfway to O'Nien. 0-0 in the 62nd minute. O'Nien on halfway with it at the moment, and plays it to Aushish, who's come back onto halfway, looking for Rigg down the right, now out to Ekwa, just keeps it in, just in front of Mike Dodds, plays it back to O'Nien, forwards to Hume, closed down quickly, gets it back to Ekwa, and Ekwa to O'Nien, inside then to Ekwa, forwards to Hume, back to the goalkeeper. Patterson at the edge of the Sunderland penalty area, plays it out to Dan Ballard on the left of midfield, forwards to Job, Job back to Ballard, forwards again to Job, plays it back to Ballard, back to the goalkeeper, and then passed out to O'Nien on the right here, closed down by Seamer. O'Nien plays it across to Ballard, Ballard wide again to Elise, back to Ballard, and then to Ekwa. Ekwa, Martins on his shoulder, Ekwa takes it up and through to Styles, back to Clark just behind him, plays it off on the right here to Rigg. Rigg now, this could be promising. Hume down the right side of the penalty area, good ball into the 6-yard box, but plucked out by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, needs to be better delivery than that.
Needed to curl away from the keeper.
Well worked.
As Barr and Roberts ready to come on for Sunderland. Coming away with it, Kone to Spreer, trying to get the ball back to Kone through the centre circle, now looking for the run of Andrews in the penalty area. Oh, he scored! Andrews in on the right, whips it under Patterson, bottom left corner in the 64th minute.
And that's what it's Andrews who scored the goal, but he's played that ball in behind, he was not offside. We got caught again, didn't we?
Yes.
On the counter-attack.
He did what Rigg should have done in the first half. His third goal of the season. The 19-year-old wing-back.
Yeah, and we said, you know, that's why they made that substitution, Nick. You know, they wanted more from the wing-back, which Greaves wasn't giving them. He was making them runs. That's what Andrews brings to the game.
Roberts coming on, Rigg coming off, Aushish coming off too. As the home fans singing "He's one of our own." 64th minute, Watford take the lead.
But Nick, the difference is, you know, it's a clean strike by Andrews. You know, we've had three or four opportunities where we've got to put our foot through the ball, which we haven't done, or even hit the target. He's hit the target.
He sprinted down that right side and just with a surety planted the ball on the far side in the bottom left corner. So Sunderland now have to come from behind here, and we know how many conversations we've had about Sunderland conceding the first goal and not being able to get back in the game. Here's Job playing it back now to Elise, and again comes just before Sunderland were going to make a substitution. Barr trying to get behind Porteous down the left of the Watford penalty area, taking on the defender, crossing, it's cut out by Hoot, he's going to keep it in terms of saving the corner, but concedes the throw. 66th minute, 1-0 to the home team. Looking for her first home win for Tom Cleverley, but also her first home win since November. Elise will take the throw 20-odd yards from the corner on the left-hand side. Back it comes to Dan Ballard. Ballard to O'Nien in the centre circle, out to Hume on the right, and now to Roberts. Roberts looking for Hume again, slightly behind him, but Roberts on the overlap. And Hume now will play it out to him and back, and Hume thought it was fouled by Pollock, looks and appeals to the assistant, and he gets the free kick eventually. Hume's furious to the assistant for not putting his flag up or backing him up.
You know.
Referee gave it, and Hume's saying, he's pointing to the assistant saying, why, what's he playing at? Newcastle 4, Sheffield United 1. Roberts will take the free kick from the right.
Strange, isn't it? You know, the assistant is standing,
Right
maybe 15 yards away.
Yeah.
And didn't flag, and the referee...
we can see it from here.
Yeah.
Roberts then, Watford line up on the 18-yard line.
The linesman flag, he's
one man in the wall in front of Roberts, that's Matthias Martins. Roberts swings the ball high in the air, looking for Job, the whistle's gone. Aji Elisa, I think, penalised for a push. Free kick to Watford. Sunderland still good 20 minutes plus to find an equaliser. And another change being made by Watford. They are bringing on Jamal Lewis, who's on loan from Newcastle. Of course, the Northern Ireland international. He has to wait for the moment. The ball in the Sunderland half-seamer. That's where he has been playing.
Oh,
and now here's Kone to Espria, looking for Bayo. Andrews is loose again on the right-hand side. Low ball played across the box and cleared by Roberts. And then
offside.
Porteous heads it on, and offside is Andrews. As soon as his foot touched the ball, the flag went up. And Sheffield Wednesday 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. Seamer coming off. And Lewis replaces him. Straight swap. Jamal Lewis jogs on, and it's a free kick, to Sunderland, which O'Nien comes across to the left to take, almost on the touchline. 1-0 to Watford, live on BBC Radio Newcastle, 69th minute. Everybody on that far left side of the pitch. Hutt heads it out again. Another throw to Sunderland. Elise drops it to Job, who plays it back in the middle to Ballard. Ballard here to Hume. Hume skips away from Martins and then plays it inside to Ekwa and then to Job. Job just left of the centre circle, trying to find Clark, but cut out, but then won back by Clark from Porteous. Forwards towards Barr, leaves it for Elise. Behind him is Clark. Clark back to Job on halfway. Behind him is O'Nien. Into the middle to Ballard. Ballard down the right, looking for Trey Hume. Trey Hume inside to Styles, then to Roberts, and he's overhit the pass. It won't be kept in by Hume. Frustration for Trey Hume. It runs out for a throw to Watford. And Pollock will take this throw, dries the ball off on his black and yellow shirt, calls Lewis towards him. Jamal Lewis immediately closed down by Roberts, but he turns Roberts though trying to stab at it and win the ball back from Lewis, who played it down the touchline. Just
linesman.
Well, he didn't flag. In the end, Bayo made the decision for him.
He's not with it, is he?
He's not with it at all.
He's not with it at all.
Dear, oh dear. O'Nien plays it back from halfway to Patterson. Swings his foot through it out to Ballard here. He lifts it over the top and the flag comes up. Offside against Barr. Free kick again to Watford. Holding that precious lead now.
Gone to a back four, haven't we? You know, Styles has gone in the middle.
Elise left back, Hume right back. Hoot with the free kick, swings it wide right, looking for Andrews, nods it on, trying to get round Elise, and he hits it too hard behind as he tried to run onto it. The goal scorer. Ryan Andrews, who you may remember late on at the Stadium of Light, got sent off in the 87th minute for a foul on Jack Clark. Ball comes back here, all the way back to the Watford goalkeeper, Daniel Bachmann. He passes it back out to Wesley Hoot, and Barr goes to close him down. He forwards it to Martins, who gives it away to Styles. Styles just in the Watford half, into the centre circle to Jobe. Kiyembe goes to close him down. O'Nien behind him, out wide on the left-hand side to Elise, back inside to Jobe. Jobe back to Ballard. Ballard just right of the centre circle to Hume. Looking for the run of Roberts here down the right of the Watford penalty area. And he slips it into Barr. Oh, and he shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Clark standing in the 6-yard box saying, oh, why didn't you pass it to me? But Barr drove it straight at Bachmann.
It did indeed.
It's now Newcastle 5, Sheffield United 1. Here's Kiyembe trying to get away from Styles.
Well done.
Ball breaks for Jobe. Jobe now trying to just thread it through to Barr. Back heel looking for Clark. In comes Hoot, slides in, gets the ball to Andrews, and then down the right it's played on to Kiyembe by Asprilla. Bayo looking for Asprilla again, but it's won back here now by Ballard. Through to Styles, to Ekwa. Roberts in the centre circle. Jamal Lewis closed him down quickly. The ball breaks eventually for Martins. Roberts trying to win it back. Martins gets it to Lewis, and then Ekwa slides in, finds Hume. Forwards down the right to Roberts. Roberts head down. Martins behind him. Now tackled, and Roberts goes down. Kone won it to Pollock. Behind him is Martins. He puts the ball out. Mike Dodd scrambling to get the ball quickly to Hume to take the throw. The pause, says the referee, while Jobe reties his right bootlace. Hume stands with the ball under his arm. Watford leading 1-0. We're in the 74th minute. Hume with a throw to Roberts, taps it behind him to Ekwa on halfway. In the middle, Luke O'Nien looking to get it down the left wing to Elise. Inside to Jobe. Jobe, Kiyembe on his shoulder, turns away from Kiyembe, plays it back to O'Nien on halfway, and then Ballard in the centre circle. He plays it out to the right here to Hume. Hume trying to find an opening, plays it across to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien through to Barr. Clark gets his head down to make a run. Now Clark, corner of the penalty area, into the box he goes, laying it to Barr. Weak shot, comes back out for Hoot to clear from Roberts.
It's side
There's no power, is there?
Put your foot through it. We keep saying that, don't we?
Yeah.
He's going to put him here on.
Yeah, Hamir and Evans are both warming up. Hamir coming down here. And here's Elise. Leaves it for Clark. Clark trying to cut inside again for Ekwa. Back to Jobe. Back again to Ballard. Down the right to Hume. Ekwa, Roberts, little triangle out to Hume on the right-hand side. Back into Roberts and back again to Ballard. Taps it to O'Nien. And O'Nien just forwards of the centre circle through to Barr in the middle. Back to Ekwa. Ekwa to Roberts. Roberts to Hume. Down the right of the area. Rolls the ball in low. No. Hooked away comfortably by Porteous. Right up to halfway, and Ballard had to get there before Bayo. And Asprilla wins it on the right. Plays it behind into Andrews.
2v2.
Looking to try and find Martins. It drops down to the Brazilian, and it comes off his knee. In comes Ekwa. Down goes Martins. Pushed by Ekwa, free kick to Watford. Martins helped to his feet on the touchline. And the free kick's going to be taken by Jamal Lewis. Roberts, it's not standing 10 yards away quite yet, and forwards Pollock comes to take the free kick. Evans is going to come on as well for Sunderland. Pollock then from the left, a third of the way inside the Sunderland half in the 76th minute. Free kick back to Hoot, plays it up to Ballard, takes it on his chest, plays it back to Patterson, and Patterson passes it to O'Nien. Out to Jobe. Jobe across here to Ballard. And out to Hume on this right-hand side. And then Hume down the right wing to Roberts on the halfway line looking for Styles. Styles gets it back to Hume, who swings it across on the left to Elise. Elise it for Job. Job pushing on here now and looking up through to Barr. Barr on the left of the penalty area to Elise. Elise tackled, and it's played back inside to Porteous to clear. Up to Bayo. Asprilla back to Bayo. And Bayo now, well, it's not a great ball. He hangs it in the air. And it hung in the air too long, really, and eventually played back to Pollock. And then Hoot looking for Andrews, who's offside. The flag goes up. Free kick to Sunderland, halfway inside their half. So the substitutions to be made now. Amir comes on for Elise. So
I'm just looking at Callum Styles. He's been told to go to left back, and his expression as though to say, mate, go back to left back again. I've just been enjoying playing in the middle of the park.
Yeah. Well, Evans replaces Ekwa. So Watford lead 1-0. Evans comes on to replace Ekwa. Callum Styles drops back to left back. Hamir goes up front, wearing the black armband in memory of Charlie Hurley. And Clark plays the ball back from halfway to Ballard, to Roberts on halfway, back to Dan Ballard, across to Luke O'Nien, and down the left wing to Styles. Styles just inside the Watford half, leaves it for Barr. Barr to Job. Job has to play it back to Styles on the left. He's under pressure from Asprilla. Comes back to O'Nien and back again to Patterson. And Patterson in the D passes it to Ballard. And Ballard into the middle. Job. Job just behind the centre circle. In the centre circle is Barr. Back to Job. And Job plays it to the right here to Hume. Hume into the Watford half. Leaves it for Roberts. Roberts inside again to Job at the edge of the centre circle. Takes it through and will play it out to Styles on the left wing. Quick first time ball to Clark, who's onside. Clark down towards the left corner, trying to take on Porteous. Rolls it back to Barr in the area on the left, trying to tee up something, but it's stabbed away by Porteous. And then out to Styles. Styles trying to stretch the ball and get it to Clark. He's pulled it back on the goal line. Andrews goes to close him down. Andrews runs and gets the ball off him. Clark's deemed to have fouled him. And it's a free kick to Watford. Another change for Watford. Bayo's coming off. And Mileta Rajovic is coming on. A Dane. Manchester United 1, Burnley 0. Wolves 2, Luton 1. So off comes Bayo, not in a great hurry to come off. Rajovic comes on. 6'4" tall. Adds a bit of height up front. 10 goals this season. 9 of those actually for Kalmar in Denmark. So the kick from Bachmann floats up and drops to the feet of Job. He plays it across looking for Roberts, taps it back to Hugh and Ballard, and across to O'Nien. O'Nien brings this on up towards halfway. Sunderland trailing 1-0. Comes back to O'Nien, whips it away from Rajovic, comes back to Ballard and then to Evans. And Evans, short pass forwards to Job, back to Evans. Evans across here to O'Nien. O'Nien on halfway down the left wing to Styles, halfway inside the Watford half. Barr stretching, and Pollock easily clears for Watford. It comes all the way back to O'Nien, and now inside to Ballard. Ballard here to Job. Millwall 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. Plymouth not out of the woods yet themselves, trailing to Millwall 1-0. Job's furious about something, he's yelling at Amir. And eventually across to Styles again on the left, but Ryan Andrews manages to do enough to shake Styles off. Gets the ball inside to Kiembe. Now Kone, and Kone lazily plays the ball out to Andrews on the right. Andrews plays it back in the middle. Hoot gets it to Pollock and back to the goalkeeper. 82nd minute. Watford 1, Sunderland 0. Hamir goes to close the goalkeeper down. The ball drops to the feet of Ryan Andrews. Plays it inside to Kone. And Kone plays it into the centre circle to Pollock. Down the left here now to Jamal Lewis. Lewis looks to try and take on Hume down the left of the penalty area. Comes off Hume, the cross. Barr will pick it up and play it down the right for Clark to chase, but it's cut out by Hoot. Benno will be on the phone in after 5. Look at that smile. And you can call on 0800 234 6565, or you can WhatsApp 08000 321 333, put BBC at the front of your message. Likewise, if you text on 81333, put I love Benno, no, put BBC at the front of your message. I'll give you those numbers again shortly. It's 1-0 to Watford. We're in the 83rd minute. The ball comes back to O'Nien, plays it out here to Roberts on the right-hand side. Roberts taking on Lewis, has to check and then flick it back to Job. Job back to Ballard in the centre circle. Forwards to O'Nien, and O'Nien now to Clark. Andrews on his shoulder, O'Nien wide. Rajovic with him. O'Nien comes back, plays it to Ballard in the centre circle. And Ballard to Job here on this right-hand side. And Job forwards to Roberts a few yards, back inside to Job. Job now through the middle. Barr is pushed down, surely.
That's a foul. Oh, he's got to be the other way. Referee, he's not having the best of games.
Well, that seemed to me like a quite obvious push on Barr, but Barr just gets up. I'm not sure if he's... Is he saying anything to the referee? If he is, he's mumbling to himself by the looks of things. Bachmann with the free kick, the keeper for Watford. 84th minute. Watford leading since the 64th minute, that Ryan Andrews goal. And the ball floats straight up to Corey Evans. Evans in the centre, looking for Clark on the left. Hamir makes a run. Clark just into the Watford half. Plays it back to Evans. Evans across here now to Ballard. Ballard forwards to Hume, out to Roberts on this right wing. Roberts cuts inside, looks for Clark, cut out by Hoot. Ball hangs high in the air, comes down onto the head of Pollock. Down the line, Ballard gets back, but Rajovic is there, but he plays it back to Patterson. Ballard from the touchline, and it's passed on to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien forwards to Job. Job back to Evans in the middle. Evans rolling it to Ballard. Ballard now into the Watford half, checks, plays it back to Hume. Hume back again to Evans, and Evans across to O'Nien. Clark just ahead of him, back to O'Nien. Forwards to Joe, back to O'Nien, and into the middle to Evans. Evans passing it to Ballard. Forwards, Roberts, quick ball out to Hume on the right. Closed down by Jamal Lewis, cut out by Pollock for a throw to Sunderland down this right-hand side in the 85th minute. Watford leading 1-0. Here's Hume back to Ballard. In his own half on the right, plays it to Patterson in the middle. Forwards then to O'Nien on the left-hand side. O'Nien to Clark. He skips around Asprilla. Clark takes this on, still going through the middle, manages to get it through to Styles, back to Clark, and looking for Roberts, cut out by Lewis. Lewis are blocked by Roberts, but it'll run back here for Pollock. He drives it up to halfway. Ballard heads it powerfully through to Barr. Barr slips it inside to Job. Job now being closed down by Kone. Back to Luke O'Nien. He plays it to Ballard to the right. Forwards again to Hume. Hume, a touch, takes it out to Roberts. Came off Kiembe. Roberts takes him on, trying to get round Lewis, who's fouled Roberts. And a free kick and a yellow card for Lewis. Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 1. So Roberts jumps to his feet, 86th minute. Free kick on the right-hand side. It was a late equaliser last season here Manchester United won, Burnley won. Remember Jefferson Bennett getting the equaliser and a 2-2 draw here late. Can Sunderland, they're going to have to do it late again if they're going to get something from the game.
And that's without Bennett.
Well, there is a Bennett. And he'll be useful.
Come on, Himir, get your head on it.
On the phone in. Roberts then from the right. Martin's
delivery.
One man standing between him and Hamir Glory. The ball driven into the far post. And there's a free kick to Watford. Foul by Barr on Porteous. Porteous gets to his feet. Watford in no great hurry. Well, I'll tell you what, the steward on the far side was in no great hurry either to get the ball. Kicks it back to Bachmann.
No
free kick to Watford. Yeah,
Livermore, is that?
It's Jake Livermore who's going to come on. That will just waste a few more seconds as far as Watford are concerned. As Rajovic through down the right side of the Sunderland penalty area to the goal line, pulls it back. Andrews' shot is blocked, or his cross is shot blocked, I should say. And Andrews again trying to get in round Evans, and the ball's gone for a corner. Evans felt it went out for a goal kick.
Is that the rain?
Charlie Hurley's picture is put up on the screens above the goals in the 87th minute here.
Excellent.
Lovely touch from Watford.
Oh.
The corner is
bodied all over
clear as they all try and break here. Clark
go on, keep
trying
going,
to
Bar.
do it for Charlie. Clark is over the halfway line. Plays it through here for Hamir.
Go on,
Hamir, edge of the area, right foot, turns it in here towards Roberts, who misses it. And now Styles, a block by the goalkeeper to make the save. Just wouldn't open up for Sunderland, and Ballard takes it on the chest at the other end.
It's just not going to happen.
It won't happen. It's just not happening.
Well done, Himir.
He made
Don't blow your whistle, referee. There's nothing wrong with him.
Just rolling. There's nothing wrong
referee.
With him. Livermore still waiting to come on. The keeper, he's
got
lots of theatrics.
Roberts, you've got to make a connection.
Had to.
Well done, Himir.
He did the right thing. I think he made the right decision. There were two players running through the middle and marked. Hamir tried to pull it back, but Batman made the block. So 1-0 still to Watford. Roberts sort of missed kick, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Styles, the keeper, made the block. Some Watford fans leaving. Aspria's coming off. It's in the 90th minute. Aspria applauding the crowd. Never quite sure, you know, whether the fact these substitutions are being made is he a player that could be out of contract and leaving. It's last home game of the season. That's often the agenda.
Yeah.
Livermore coming on. As Aspria waves to the Watford fans as he strolls off here. I get the distinct impression this might be his last appearance.
Farewell.
Farewell, yeah. There'll be 4 minutes added on. Yeah, Aspria just waits to applaud the crowd. Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 4. Bachmann's all right, the goalkeeper, and Aspria now comes off. A big hug from Livermore. And Tom cleverly shakes his hand and gives him a hug as well. And he applauds the home fans again. Yasser Aspria, the Colombian international, the 20-year-old. And the ball, drop ball to Luke O'Nien. We're in the first minute of 4 minutes being added on. Can Sunderland find an equaliser in those 4 minutes? Kiembe plays the ball off Clark. Back down the line it runs for Barr, who halts and manages to get on the ball again. Slips it to Roberts. back to Barr. Barr trying to get through, comes back out to Job and out to Hume on this right-hand side. Hume dinks across in, looking for Hamir, headed away by Hoot. Comes out to Martins, trying to head it on for Rajovic. O'Nien gets in front of him, takes the ball away to the left wing and plays it down the line. Barr can't keep it in. Just stretched out his right foot and knocks the ball out for a throw to Watford.
Yeah, we've pushed Ballard up front now, haven't we? He's playing as an out-and-out striker.
We're in the 92nd minute. It's 1-0 to Watford. Throw which Portis will take on the far side and looks for Kone. Gives it straight to Job. Job on the halfway line. Kone on his shoulder to Styles. Styles flicking it on to Job again. Job plays it back to Evans in the middle of the Sunderland half. Evans just plays it again forwards to Job on halfway. He's caught by Kayembe. He picks himself up. The ball played on to Clark on the left. He manages to ride the challenge of Ryan Andrews, skips past Rajovic and plays the ball here to Hume on the right-hand side. Out to Roberts on the right wing. Roberts looking for a way through, can't find it, plays it back to Evans into the 93rd minute. And Evans plays it to O'Nien. O'Nien back to Evans. And Evans in the centre circle needs to pick out the right pass here. Looks for a run of Styles, but the keeper comes out above him and knocks the ball down over Styles, who goes down clutching his back. And there'll be another stoppage. We're going to get more than the 4 minutes, I think, evidently. And Styles just lying on his back, with the referee over him. As Ballard is still up, hauling Styles to his feet. And Styles limps away, just holding his lower back.
You've got to say that Sunderland have had the better opportunities.
The opportunities, the finishing.
The finishing's been poor.
That's where the question mark hangs, isn't it? You know, one good chance for Watford, and Andrews just smashed it. Here's Bachmann. Hamir's just in front of him, and he will kick over Hamir high up into the Sunderland half in the last minute of the 4, but as I say, I think we'll get more than that added on. Drops for Kayembe. He turns, gets away from Job, and then plays it off Ballard out to Lewis on this left-hand side, on the halfway line on the left. Flicks it on down the left for Kone. Kone cuts inside. Kone now through to Rajovic, and he's trying to get forwards but loses it. Evans to Job, and Job to Hamir. To Barr, with Hamir making the run through the middle. Clark down the left of the penalty area. Clark still going. Clark blocked by Portis, the loose ball. Ballard trying to get on the end of it. Comes back out though, and cleared by Andrews up to Hume. Hume now into the 5th minute of added time to Styles. Styles down the left to Barr. Barr taking on Andrews. Barr still going, flicks it back to Styles. Styles blocked by Rajovic as he tried to get the ball forwards. Throw to Sunderland, 10 yards inside the Watford half. Watford trying to push out here. Styles with the throw, back to Hume. Hume plays it, or is trying to take it across away from Martins, and plays it to Roberts on the right, and that will be it. It's all over. Watford.
Well, there we go. Cheers for the stream, guys. It was the same old, wasn't it? Sunderland, that's what you get when you just can't put your chances away. Well done, Watford, for their 1-0 win. We should at least scored 4. But this is what happens, and this is why we desperately need a striker. Striker is a must. Strikers, 3 or 4 of them. Thanks everybody for being in the chat today. Your support has been immense as always. You're welcome, Albert. Everybody, I'm going to say thanks for tuning in. I'll be doing a review of this match tonight, so keep an eye out for another video. And I'll be doing the Mackham, Cabby and Davey show on Monday night for between 8 and 9. You're welcome, Billy, Julian, Leighton, Albert, Derek, Dougie, SJ. It's been a pleasure, as always. You're welcome, Deb. You're welcome anytime. Shame about the result again. Let's see what Dodsey has for an excuse this time. You're welcome, Base. Cheers for tuning in, mate. Cheers, Stephen. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers, ALS. You're welcome. Ian Waller, thanks, mate. Anytime indeed. My wife's out for a night out now, so we'll be taking them into town in my taxi, but I'll be putting the meter on. You're welcome, Sandra. Have a good weekend, all. So I will see you. Keep an eye out for my review tonight. And once again, love yous all. Thanks very much for everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you later.